Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. We are live. We're live. Welcome in, y'all. Addy is in the building. Let's see. Falling is in the building. Coach Boom's in the building. Toxic is in the building. Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. Welcome to the stream. Appreciate y'all tapping in. If y'all are over on TikTok, do me a favor. Start tapping the screen. Share it live with a few people. We're going to get rolling with some music here in just a little bit. Let me get a couple things organized. Let me get a couple things up and running and refreshed over here, and then we're going to get rolling with some music. I appreciate y'all tapping in today. Welcome in. Let's see. Shadow Frank's in the building. What's up, Shadow Frank? Thanks for tapping in. Welcome in. How we feeling today, y'all? RSS in the building. Noah, welcome in. Ryan's in the building. Sage, is it Gardor? Welcome in. Tate Sound, appreciate you tapping in. George is in the building. Welcome in, y'all. Appreciate y'all joining. Welcome into the stream. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter live today. We did about 4.5 hours yesterday. We'll probably do, I would say, anywhere from 2 to 3 hours today. So a little bit shorter live, but hopefully we can still get through a good chunk of music. Gardor, everything's at the link in my bio. If you want to submit there's a free line and there's a consultation line. One is very long and very detailed. One is a quick up to 2 minute listen and a note. But if you want to submit music or anybody would like to submit music, then all of that is at the link in my bio. Let me know if you have any questions there as well. I will explain the whole live stream in the next 3 or 4 minutes. I'm just getting all the different platforms up and running. Let's see. Fake Burns in the building. Welcome in. Let me double check a few things here. Katie's in the building. What's up, Katie? It's going well. It's been a great day. It's been a very, very productive day. A very, very good day. I also just got notified today that one of my broken synths, the new one, is going to be on its way here very, very soon. Is it Lily? Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. So that is fantastic as well. Shane, good to see you, man. Long time no talking. It's good to see you. I appreciate you tapping it. But yeah, for those of you who don't know or who would maybe even care, but this is I have a couple of synths on the way, like 2 or 3 synths that are on order right now that hopefully will be here soon. But this Poly D, this one at the top, is a Minimo clone. That one is broken. It has a inline distortion circuitry that went bad, and a rocker switch that broke, and it's being replaced, and I'm getting the new one in hopefully like in the next week or 2, which would be fantastic. Immediate good vibes in here. That's very refreshing. Yay. I love that. That makes me so happy. Thank you for saying that. Welcome to the good vibes. I appreciate you tapping in today. So I just got the email from Sweetwater that they're sending me the replacement, hopefully very, very soon. They just got some in stock, which is fantastic. So I'll probably fix this myself. Or bridge it and just cut the distortion circuitry and bypass it and just jump. And then I'll create a jumper past that circuitry because it's in line. So if it goes out, it kind of messes with your whole signal. And then probably flip that for another synth, that's one of my favorites. It's how I've gotten pretty much all 14, 15 synths that I have, is buying, trading, flipping, stuff like that. Different planets. Love my Poly D. I love it. It's been painful so that my Poly D has been out for the last probably 3 or 4 months. Last 3 or 4 months that I've not been able to use it, which is just tragic. I love the thing. I used it all the time. But thankfully got a new one coming in. So that'll be very exciting. I've got that coming back in, so I can get this one fixed up and sold, and then a couple other synths coming in the next week or 2, probably a bunch of new gear coming into this studio. It's gonna be very exciting. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Thank y'all so much for joining today. If y'all are coming in for the first time, I would love to know where you're from. I'd love to know if you make music, the kind of music that you make. So we're gonna dive into some music here in just a little bit as well. But I would love to just chat a little bit. I'm gonna be on for maybe 2.5 hours today, something like that, 2 to 2.5 hours maybe. It's not going to be a crazy long stream, but we're going to try to get to a handful of tracks, listen to y'all's music, hopefully give some solid breakdowns on what y'all are working on. Let me see. Everything's at the link in my bio, but I will explain. Give me like 2 minutes. Got you, Shane. Appreciate you so much, man. Appreciate you so much. I'm excited to work with you as well in the near future. Let me double check this over here, but I will explain the whole structure of the live stream in the next couple minutes, and then we'll get things flowing here. we'll get things flowing. But if y'all are on TikTok, do me a huge favor. Fake Burn, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. If y'all are on TikTok, do me a huge favor. Make sure you're tapping the screen, share out the live, repost, send in your heart me. It does really help out the live stream quite a bit. And like I said, we'll dive into listening to y'all's music here in just the next couple minutes. We're just getting some things, getting things warmed up, getting things moving. Oh, I like that move. Maybe to the F sharp minor just for fun. So let's see. A minor up to the C. We'll do the G7. Is it knee? Am I saying that correctly? What we do here, I'll actually explain it in like 30 seconds. I'll explain the whole thing. There's two lanes here. There's a free line where we listen to people's music. That free line is up to 2 minutes of a listen and then a quick note at the end. And then we also have, Diane, thank you for the follow. We also have a consultation side, which are 20 to 30 minute breakdowns. Those are deep dives into your music. So those are the two different things, but largely speaking, what we do here are, it's an environment and a live stream to help artists, producers, musicians, engineers, songwriters, poets, whatever it may be. We're going to dive into music. We're going to get into the details of it and hopefully offer some great, actionable and professional feedback on the structure of your music. Is it neat? Thank you for the follow as well. Ryan Roll, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Nicole, Great Music's in the building. What's up, Nicole? Welcome in. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, we're getting things flowing here. I cannot wait to get the Poly. I'm so hyped. I cannot wait to get the Poly D back. I got you. Flinch, I got you. You're ready to go. Rezix, welcome in as well. Appreciate you tapping in. Like I said, it's going to be a shorter stream today. Nothing too crazy, but I have a lot of other work today. So a little bit shorter than I wanted to. We went long yesterday. I'll probably go long tomorrow if I can. It just really depends on my work and just the amount of sessions and stuff that I have. So tomorrow will probably be a little bit longer one since I'm going a little bit shorter today. Just had to catch up on some other stuff. Makusha, welcome in as well. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for happening. Thanks for hopping in. I appreciate you being here. Are you open to listening to an AI assisted song? Yeah, it happens. I don't necessarily prefer it just because the structure of this live stream is incredibly long form and detailed breakdowns of the structure of your music. And typically with those breakdowns are really nuanced approaches to how you can update and change and polish very specific elements of your music. So largely speaking, this is people that are coming in that are producers, they're musicians, so on and so on, which you may be as well. But musicians and producers, so on and so on. And talking through ways that they can improve on sound design, mixing and mastering, production elements, stuff like that. But a lot of people, when they are submitting AI, which does happen, when they do, it is typically from the stance of talking about song structure, formatting, melodic formatting, structuring, phrasing, and things like that. That's typically where that comes in. Miranda, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Okay, let's get into greetings from Finland. Thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you being here, Miranda. Thank you for the heart me. I appreciate that a lot as well. Let's get into it really quick. I want to go ahead and Shane, I did get yours. I want to get into the music here because I don't have a ton of time. But really quickly, thank y'all so much for joining today. I appreciate you being here in the live stream. Thank you, Miranda. I appreciate it. Jesse's in the building. Jesse, welcome into the live stream. But thank y'all for joining. I appreciate y'all hopping in. Welcome to Track Talk. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the stream. I appreciate y'all being here so much. Taking any amount of time out of your day, man, it means a lot. I don't take that for granted at all. If you've never been here before, here's a quick spiel on what this live stream is and what you can expect. We have two lanes here. There is a free line. Sometimes it can be challenging to get to, but there is a free line. That free line is up to 2 minutes of your song and a note at the end. So we will listen to your song, your music, your artistry, whatever it is, up to 2 minutes. And at the end of that, we'll give you a quick note on maybe some things you could improve on. On the consultation side, which is a huge chunk of what we do here, on the consultation side, that's the paid side, those are 20 to 30 minute multiple listen, deep dive consultations on the structure of your music. Those are not quick reviews. Those are, there's no trash or pass. There's no ratings. There's no polls. Those are a 20 to 30 minute multiple listen breakdown where we dive into your mix and master, production elements, sound design choices, lyric and song formatting, so on and so so on. Those are really, really detailed. The goal with those 20 to 30 minute breakdowns is to offer specific and actionable feedback on the structure of your music. For those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. I've been doing that for the last 14 plus years. That is what I do for a living. I'm also a classically trained pianist, so a lot of the perspective of this live stream and kind of the structure of it is from that perspective. Like I mentioned, I'm not here to roast you. I'm not here to trash you. I'm not here to hype you up. I'm not trying to find the best song. The whole goal of this live stream is to offer as much value as possible and offer actionable feedback in any capacity that I can with the experience that I have. So if you would like to, D-Lan. Is it Dylan? Is it D-Lan? D-Lan. I can't see the L from this on my screen over because my camera's like over here. So on my screen over here, on the screen over here, I couldn't tell if it was Deanne or if it was Dylan or D-Lan. Okay, Runic, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. But anyways, if you would like to submit your music for said, free line, quick listen, or if you would like to get into the consultation side, which is a lot of the meat of what we do here, if you want to get on that end as well, then everything is at the link in my bio. That's where you submit for either one of those, and it is also where you can check the queue. So if you want to see the line, you want to see the queue, all of that is at the exact same link, and you can find that at the link in my bio. If you are on the purple app, actually, hold on. I just realized I wasn't seeing my chat over here. 1 second. One of my chats deleted itself. So hold on. If you're on there it is. Okay, hold on. I gotta get caught up over here. Nova, I see your chat now. Sorry, Nova. I don't know when you sent this. I think it might have been just now. Hopefully it was just now. But either way, I am just seeing this for the first time because the other chat was not pulled up. I just realized. Do you mind if it's in a short mix? Just have the original song, my friend? Yeah, of course, Nova. Of course. Whatever would you think would be really valuable for you. And then Jesse, I got yours as well. Thank you so much. Shane, of course, I've got yours. Let me double check a few things as we go. But yeah, if you're on TikTok, everything is at the link in my bio for everything that you need right there. If you are on the purple app that we're live on right now, you can type !submit right there in the chat. If you're on the red app that we're also live on right now, you can go to the description for the live stream and you'll see everything that you need right there. But once again, consultation side, 20 to 30 minute multiple listen, deep dive consultation on the structure of your music. The other side is the free line is up to 2 minutes of your song with a quick note. We'll try to dip into there if we have a chance today, but I'll be on for probably about, I would say maybe 2.5 to 3 hours today, depending. It's going to be a little bit shorter today. Thank y'all for tapping in. I appreciate y'all being here so much. Flames, I see you. Marcus, I see you. Thank you so much for tapping in. Runic's in the building. Flinch, thank you for the follow. Runic, thank you for the follow. Maybe I already said that, but thank y'all. I appreciate it so much. I was kicked out of music school for my music 2 days ago because of the message, apparently. Interesting. I'm intrigued by what that means. Jesse, thank you so much for the roses. I appreciate that a lot. Let's get into some music. We got Jesse in the building. Once again, if you want to check the line at any point, all of that is at the link in my bio as well. I'm not going to wait around any longer. We're going to dive straight into the music, and we're going to try to go at a decent pace today, even though we are still going to go very deep with the breakdowns that we do. So this is Jesse Wadsworth. I've heard one other song from them before, just a couple days ago, and it was fabulous. So we're about to get into it here. So give me just a second to read through the note here, and then we'll dive into this first song here. Just made this song last night, and it's not completely mixed and mastered, and there are going to be some lyric and dynamic changes, but here's what we got so far. Jesse, any other details? You know the deal at this point. Drop it in the chat. Let the people know what you do as well. Remind anyone else who would want to know the role that you play in your music, so they know what they're listening to. And if there's anything you want me to focus on a little bit more in depth, of course, drop it in the chat. But let's get into it. This is "Can We Just Talk" by Jesse Wadsworth. Let's dive in. All of the above.
Silence, it's making me say things I'm not wanting.
Yeah.
Making me play games you're not playing.
Love your voice, man.
I'm just here looking stupid.
Such a good voice.
And I feeling all of my feelings trapped wasting it all on a dream instead. Why do you take me to the end just to leave me in the end? Can we just talk about us?
Come on.
I'm sick of falling in and out of love. Try to hold on till the end, but I don't think my heart will ever be the
Beautiful,
same
beautiful, beautiful.
again. Can we just talk?
Great melodies.
Talk about us.
Raymond, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in.
I'm sick of falling
Thank you for the follow.
in and out of love. Try to hold on till the end, but I don't think my heart will ever I'm holding on to you,
Yeah, come on.
I'm the lonely dark searching for you. And I swore these days I would make you mine. Can we just talk about us?
Remind me really quick what mic you're using.
'Cause I'm growing sick and tired of falling in and out of love. Can we just talk about us?
Awesome.
I'm sick of
Great dynamics.
falling in and out of love. Try to hold on till the end.
Thank you for the follow.
But I don't think my heart will ever be the same again. Can we just talk about us? 'Cause I'm sick of falling in and out of love. Try to hold on till the end, but I don't think my heart will ever mend.
So good, so good, so good. Y'all show some love. Show some love, show some love. Absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. That is Jesse Wadsworth. This little ending section right here is reminding me of like early Bozzy records. Does anyone remember Bozzy? I don't know, where is Bozzy these days? It reminds me a little bit of early Bozzy records there. That natural, faster vibrato when the vocal, really smooth vocal performance. The tonal structure is absolutely amazing. Let's get into it, man. Let's dive into some details here. Yark is in the building. Risa, thank you so much for the finger hearts as well. I appreciate y'all so much. But let me refresh over here really quick. I want to get into the details here. But Jesse, this is a fantastic song. It's such a fantastic song. It's structured beautifully. The dynamics are absolutely fantastic. I miss Bozzy too. I liked a lot of Bozzy's early stuff. I feel like he was coming in hot. He was doing a lot of cool stuff, and then just didn't. I think I want to say he might have had like a weird. I remember when he got on TikTok. This is random. Sorry, we don't have to talk about this, but he got on TikTok and he was trying to promote some songs, and he was a part of course, a major label deal that was really holding him back. And so I saw him posting stuff, and people would be like, release it. And he like just kept having to do that. And the label just kept holding him to post it, and they never released it. Didn't release it. And it was like 4 months later when they like finally finished this like song, you know what I mean? And then nobody cared about it. And it was getting millions of views on these like songs that were going viral. And the label's like, no, we got to do all these things. We got to plan this release. And it's like, dude, you're hot right now. And anyways, they pushed the song back by by 4 months or something like that. And then nobody cared. Then they finally like, it's out, it's everywhere, to like 12,000 views or something like that. And it's like, yeah, I think there's a lot of frustrating things like that happen all the time. Maybe he's running his label like John Bellion did. I mean, yeah, if he is doing that, if he is running it out, I mean, John Bellion had to wait 6-7 years. Don't do it. 7 years, something like that, before he ran out his contract. Basically said, either y'all are gonna just keep losing money by having me in your rotation, or just let me free. Yeah, John's great. John's great. I love. I mean, obviously he's a great song. He's in the background of a lot of other records out there. Bark back, thank you. I appreciate you. But he also he's a really talented producer. His MPC, his sampling work and his MPC work is second to none. He's really really talented. But let's get into it, man. Let's dive into some details. I'm not messing around. Let's run it back. Let me see what Jesse said. I was going for a Conan Gray vibe, but kind of making it my own. Yeah, 100%. It's very much your own. It's very much your own. So let's get into it. Bark back. If you're on the Purple app, or anyone who's on the Purple app, you can type !submit in the chat, and the link will present itself to you, and you'll see what you need right there. Just keep in mind, anyone who's on any of the different platforms, there is a free line and a consultation line. The free line will listen to up to 2 minutes of your song, and then a quick note at the end. The deep dives that we're doing here with Jesse right now, these are the consultation side. These are 20 to 30 minute multiple listen breakdowns of the structure of your music. We're going to dive into the details. We're going to get into the weeds with it. And that's what this is. That's what this is on this side. Nova, I got you. You're in the line. You're ready to go. DJ, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. All right, let's dive in. Let's dive in. Jesse, you're a monster. Really, really, really talented, man. I love so much about this. There's a couple times in here where you are getting some digital artifact because of your clipping. There's a couple times in here where we're just reaching the limit of that channel. And it's introducing a lot of noise that I would love to mitigate. You probably will want to retrack your last hooks here, which is challenging. This is, someone said that, sounds good though. It sounds good. DJ, thanks for the follow. It's unfortunate only because this is your highest dynamic moment. This is your largest, climactic moment of the song, and you run into a lot of digital. That was your dynamic issue, 100%. So what you might want to do, this would be my encouragement for you, depending on if you're clipping at your preamp and or clipping in the DAW, depending on where you're kind of at in your chain. There's a couple different things that you can mitigate, but I would maybe track that last hook on its own, at least your higher registers. I can definitely, yeah. Let me know, Miranda, if you want to. Love you so much. I definitely will. Yeah, Miranda, if you're down to be a mod, I can definitely add you. We always need help in here. It can get chaotic a little bit sometimes. But anyways, on the clipping side, on the artifact side, if you find that this whole last hook is going to be a higher register, more projection, more energy to the diaphragm of the mic, then we might want to gain stage accordingly and actually turn down your preamp a little bit. Make sure that you're not clipping at the source, of course. And then from there, of course, we can regain stage all of your other plugins and stuff to make sure there's plenty of room for that vocal to pop at the end of here, at the end of this last chorus here, because I would love to regain some of that dynamic range again, because it's such a powerful song. It really is such a powerful song. DJ, everything is at the link in my bio if anyone would like to submit. This is a little bit of a shorter live today. I've been working on a whole bunch of other stuff, so I got a whole bunch of stuff I need to get pushed out like next week. So I've been working through some other projects this morning. We'll be on for about 2.5, 3 hours, something like that. So it's still a good chunk of time. But let me see. And then Bark back, I got you as well. I appreciate you so much. I got you. Okay, let me double check something real quick. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to add Miranda. Miranda, I appreciate you so much. I was just moving back from my mic and it sounded so empty. Yeah, so like obviously the proximity effect of using a cardioid, microphone is going to be one of the things that's at play there, right? Where the closer you get to the microphone, the more low end energy you're going to get. There's less diffusion of those waves. So, but the farther you go back, all of a sudden it gets really thin. Now, of course, you can gain stage accordingly. So, and EQ accordingly on that channel. So if you do back off the mic where you are, let's say 10, 12, 14 inches away from the microphone, you can increase gain a little bit, maybe regain a little bit of the low end there between, let's say 200 and 600 hertz to make sure your vocal feels a little bit fuller. You're not losing, a lot of that low end information just on that particular channel. Or the other option is to gain stage accordingly, right? It's like, I'm going to maintain, let's say, 6 to 10 inches or so from the microphone, depending on what you're doing. And so I'm going to turn down the gain a little bit to make sure I'm not clipping at the source. And of course, properly gain staging through your plugins as you are mixing your vocal in the DAW as well. Okay, Miranda, give me 2 seconds. How was I not following you back on here? Unless it was a different page. I could have sworn I was. Okay, hold on 1 second here. Let me add moderator. Confirm. Boom. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Miranda, appreciate you so much. I appreciate it so much. All right, let's get it rolling, man. Let's run it back from the top. Let's get into some of the details here. But yeah, wildly talented, man. So wildly talented. I'm excited to dig into this and get a little bit deeper into it. There's a couple small little elements in here I would love to hear. But you're right at the edge, man. It's really, really fantastic. I know it's not like you already said, and thank you so much for the Go Populars as well. I appreciate that a lot. Like you said, it's not fully mixed and mastered. I will say things that I hear, even if you might already know you need to address them. So don't take them as just me being annoying or overly critical, right? You know what I mean? I don't mean to be that way. I'll hear some things, and you probably, like you said, it's not mixed and mastered fully yet. You probably already know some of these things you can mitigate, but I'll mention them just because we're hearing them in case any of them you haven't addressed yet. Really quick, low end of the acoustic guitar. There's kind of two things that I would love to happen here because I want to keep this as raw and as organic as possible. I don't want to overproduce this in any way. David, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you tapping in. I don't want to overproduce this. I don't want to overmix it. Which is why I don't want that digital artifact from your clipping. I want it to feel open, and I want it to feel really natural and really organic. One of the things that's happening right now is because you're relying completely on the acoustic guitar for your full spectrum of energy in the production for the most part. There's vocal layers that are filling out a lot of the high end. We've overcompensated a little bit on low frequencies, especially like 300 hertz and below. That's inflated a pretty fair amount because that's the only way that the mix of the production feels like it has as much energy as you want it to have. And so one thing that I would potentially look at, just if you feel up to it. And you could do this really, really easily, really, really simply. You don't have to do anything crazy at all. Is, for one, don't overcompensate on the mixing side by inflating low end on the acoustic. Keep it a little bit better balanced. Like it almost sounds like maybe there's like a pull tech on there. You have this nice U-shaped curve where it's bright and crispy at the top, and there's a lot of weight at like 100, 200 hertz and below. That's kind of what it reminds me of. So if you do have a little bit of a push there, which I'm assuming you do, maybe drop that down by a couple dB. If 200 hertz is up, 5 dB, 6 dB or something like that, bring it back down to like 2 or rebalance it. And then what I would do personally is add an element underneath, as simple as you possibly can, underneath to fill in the void where that is. Which tier do I need to go next? Let me see. Currently 20. Currently 20. Of course, that changes over time. Keep your eye on the line, but currently 20. Could I also just track a bass? You could absolutely track a bass. I kind of think, and a bass would work perfectly fine. You could also just do a low octave on the piano and nothing else. You don't have to do any other notes, but literally just, let me hear it really quick. Let's get into it. Let's get into some of the details here. It's in G major. I love it. Because right here, it's a little overcompensated for, so we can bring some of that control back down. Pete, thanks for the follow. 100 to 300 hertz right there. Bring some of that mud out of it. And keep your verses all right here. Keep your verses exactly as is.
Making me say things I'm not one.
We'll talk about the vocal here in a second, but I want to talk production first.
Play games you're not playing.
Little digital clipping there.
Looking stupid.
Maybe even here.
Feeling all of my feelings.
You could keep it really simple or nothing here still. Keep it dry.
Of the deep end, and I don't know how to swim.
All right, hook right here.
Don't know how to swim.
Slow octave. Oh, this is pre going in. That's pre. Don't come in there. Don't do that.
Wasting it on a dream instead. Why do you take me to the end? Just to
okay, so here, just do like the third.
Can we just talk about us? I'm sick of falling.
Really, really simple on the low end and just really easy. Don't do that. Even just something as simple as that over the hook that you could track in like 20 minutes and just like copy over to some different sections would be so easy to do, and just bring in some like warmth and fill out a little bit more of that low end energy at the bottom end of the piano right there. And just follow some of that, follow the progression there, and follow some of the energy of the acoustic guitar right there, and have it fill, don't have a good sounding piano sound. Do this. Do you have labs? Do you have labs? Hey, thank you for the hat and mustache. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much, Jesse. Thank you for the hat and mustache. If you have labs, let me know. Spitfire Audio Labs. If you don't, I'm going to put you on, and I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do. Okay, so there is Spitfire Audio is an audio company. They make plugins, they make VSTs, and they have a series of plugins called Labs, and they are free, and they are not cheap free plugins. These are like Hans Zimmer sounds. They have beautiful strings. They have like live recorded orchestral elements. They have incredible musicians that are doing like in-depth sampling. I have probably 60 gigs of just free sounds, drums, pianos, strings, synths, texture, cinematic stuff, all kinds of stuff. But they have some great pianos. I'll show you right now. They have some great pianos, but it's Spitfire Audio, and it's Labs. Dude, I have so many of them. Dude, I will put you on right now. I'm gonna go to their piano, so I'll pull up the pianos I mean, if you want Rhodes, like again, real like, let me pull up some stuff here real quick. Free plugin. Now, I love my paid plugins, but man, if you want good free stuff, so like look right here, this is like a real live tracked Rhodes. Let me make sure that it's pulled up on my end over here really quick. Guitar Josh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Let me bypass these. I'm just gonna put a little reverb, just a little fun reverb on it real quick. But that's it. And let me bypass the piano. Come on. Okay, hold on. Let's bring this up a little bit here. Beautiful. It's like stuff like that. And you also have like directs, but these are like the thing that I look for when you're looking for good plugins. The thing you're looking for is the amount of samples within your velocity range. That's one of the signs of good sampling. What's up, Silex? Welcome in. The amount of samples within your velocity range are a sign of a good quality, well recorded. Hey, Silex going crazy, dude. Thank you for the Go Populars, man. Hundreds of them. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that so much. Thank you for the gifts. But that's what you're looking for, right? So like when I'm looking for like a good Rhodes like this, you hear all those different samples depending on my velocity. You hear how it changes a little bit every time. Those are those little details. This is free. And of course, like add a good compressor after this, add a flanger after this, or a phaser, and it's beautiful. Okay, but then I'm gonna come down here. Here's one of my favorites. I'm gonna show you just a few really quick so you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. One of my favorites is soft piano. Soft piano is beautiful. You'll actually hear this on a lot of songs. People love this thing. This is soft piano. It's beautiful. And this is free. You hear all the felt noises in the background. You hear the pedal lifts. It just keeps getting better and better and better. And so here's what I'm talking about. Just add here. Okay. So let's get into this hook. And we're just gonna add. Build up. Octave in third.
Can we just talk about us? I'm sick of falling in and out of love. Try to hold on.
Just that.
Hold on till
Come on.
the end. But I don't think my heart will ever
A little bit of
be
warmth
the
underneath
same
it.
again. Can we just talk about us? I'm sick of falling in and out of love. Try to hold on to the end. But I don't think my heart will ever mend.
And even just that warmth right there, it just fills out the low end of the mix. So what I would like about this, and literally you could use this piano. You could use this exact piano. It's the soft piano on Spitfire Labs, and it's free, and it sounds gorgeous. You could use this piano. I just have a little bit of reverb on there. And there's also reverb built into it. You can add that too. It makes it really, really easy. It's a great, super simple, like 3-knob interface. It makes it really, really nice. But you could have like this literal sound. What we just heard right there, you could just put on the song. And what I like about this is this allows you to build up some of the energy on your hook, fill out the low end, and not have to compensate on the guitar side. The guitar we can suppress a little bit. The guitar we can build, we can carve out a little bit of the energy that's really prominent in the low end right here. That's making the guitar feel boomy and kind of digitally processed for how natural and organic of a record is. So if you can soften the processing on the guitar to make it even more natural and even more beautiful to listen to, and fill in the gaps with another really natural, beautiful instrument, you hear all that natural upright modulation, some of that movement. Like that's awesome. It's gonna make the whole mix feel really, really warm. You don't have to compensate with any of the production elements in the background. That's the stuff. And then maybe if you feel like it, you could empty out for the verses. So you build this up and then you can keep this high. Keep it higher here, maybe. You'll probably want to bring the dynamics back down to the verse or whatever, and then maybe empty the piano or only do a single note on the piano, or come up here for the piano and you keep it a little bit simpler, and then only at the low end when you go to the hook, so you get more dynamics there. That alone, in tandem with the improvements in vocal tracking quality because of some of the clipping that we're getting in there, some of the artifact in the background, those two things in tandem alone will like wake up the song a little bit. It'll sound beautiful and vibrant and so warm and just energetic to listen to. It's gonna be so beautiful. Little things like that go a really long ways. Okay, really quick. One of the other things I wanted to listen for. I want to go into the first verse just for 2 seconds, and we'll move on to the next song. This is such a good song, man. It's performed with so much emotion, so much energy, so much just angst. Like I feel the energy of the song, which to me matters more than any mix element we could possibly talk about. It's a good song. It's well written. It's well performed. You've got that down, man. You've got that down. That matters more than anything, more than the mix, more than the muddiness of the low end of the guitar. That matters more than anything, man. It's a fantastic song, genuinely. So let me hit this first verse really quick. There's only one other detail, which has to do with automating your reverbs a little bit. So let's talk about that for 2 seconds, then we'll move on. M, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you so much. Of course, man. Anytime. Thanks for the follow.
Silence, it's making me say things I'm not wanting.
Okay, so here, really quick, and this is a little bit of a taste thing. This is not necessarily as objective as when something's like boomy or muddy and frequencies are colliding and stuff like that. In this case, it's a little bit more subjective as far as the way that you process your vocals on this. Your voice is awesome, man. I mean, I love it so much. I think you're doing a fantastic job, genuinely fantastic job. Better than a lot of people that are working in this space. You really understand your voice. I feel like it feels very confident while still feeling very vulnerable, and I can appreciate that a lot. The thing I wished I heard is a little bit of a drier vocal early on in the song. expanding to a wetter vocal, more reverb delays, going into your hooks, and then maybe drier for the verses. Early on in here, we have this really like dry, punchy acoustic guitar. It's got a lot of weight to it, which again, like we talked about, we can manipulate that a little bit. But it's very, very dry in kind of the way that it presents itself. And then what's up, Joseph? What the vocal? What's up, Joseph? Good to see you, man. And then the vocal is set with a huge hall reverb. And so that vocal has a ton of space. And it's one of the reasons why I want to mainly add a big piano like we were talking about on the hook, mainly to expand the song and make it feel really vibrant. On this verse, and maybe on both of your verses, I would maybe and you could automate this with your reverb, the mix on your reverb, or if it's on an aux, automate that aux on its own fader to come in and out a little bit more. A slightly drier vocal on the verses will help it feel a little bit closer, a little bit more vulnerable, a little bit more intimate, and then going into your hook, you can expand a little bit. It's a bit more anthemic, where we can open up this hook and make it feel incredibly, incredibly vibrant. Joseph, thank you so much for the communities. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much for tapping in today, man. It's good to see you. So it'll make exactly. So the hook sounds giant. It sounds massive. It has all this energy. We expand with the piano. It gets deeper. It gets all of these beautiful elements that come into play. And then at the top end, obviously your vocal layers and these bright, shimmery, Valhalla reverbs come into play as well, and they sound amazing. And on the verses, then we get really, really close. We come in a little bit tighter. So, like when we're here, you can hear all the like big reverb tails at the end right there. I think if we just bring down that mix by 20%, get that vocal in a little bit closer, I think it'll actually create, without you doing barely any work at all, it'll increase your dynamic range, or your perceived dynamic range, by a lot. Because those verses will just be closer, they'll feel intimate, and then you'll really, really open up the mix on the hook. Those are the things I would focus on, man. But Jesse, I love what you're doing. Genuinely, man. Really, really, really talented writer, talented vocalist. I feel the emotion. I feel the weight of it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this record for you. I think you're going to do a fantastic job, and I'm not worried about it at all. I don't think you're very far off either. Get Spitfire Labs. Everybody in here, every single person here, get Spitfire. If you're producing your own music and you need free, good quality plugins, get Spitfire Labs. It's so good. I literally have like 60, 70 gigs of free sounds just through Spitfire. And I have some of their paid stuff too, and it's phenomenal. Like Hans Zimmer literally has like studio tracked, like string orchestral elements and stuff like that for like $1,500 on there. They do some of the most amazing like orchestral and cinematic stuff. East West is also great. Ambertone is also great as well. But Spitfire has a bunch of free stuff too. They always have little free. The BBC Orchestra on there is free as well. Where if you need horns and different articulations of the instruments as well, different horns, pianos, drums, like man, they got so much on there. But y'all, please show some love, man. Yeah, Spitfire's gonna change your life, because there's probably another 30, because they're always putting new stuff on there. I know I already have like 60 gigs of sounds on there. I bet you there's probably another 20 or 30 gigs I could download today, or at least another 10 gigs I could download today, because they're always like, here's another like pack of random piccolos or flutes or whatever, something like that, for another like 10 different sounds. They're just always putting new stuff out there. They have some great. I'm gonna show you this real quick just before we move on. I know I have to move on, but I do want to show you on the percussion side. Their drums are awesome too. I love their vintage drums. So these vintage drums, real quick. Let's see, where'd you go? Thank y'all for the follows. I appreciate that a lot. It's all free. I'm telling you, and they're so good. Vintage drums, 1975 kit. Come on. I gotta take off hold on. I gotta take off these reverbs. What are we doing here? The Animal kit. Well, I gotta turn this down as a clipping over here. Hold on one second. Here's what I want you to listen for. The amount of samples per velocity range, right? Like on these low toms here. The different articulations. You can literally hear you can almost hear the rattle of the lugs. You hear that? You can hear the rattle of they're real drums. You know what I'm saying? It's free, this one. Especially if you do like acoustic, folk, indie stuff. And you can just saturate this, run this through like a tape emulation, get it nice and crunchy. Come on. And they're free. I'm a fan. Like I said, there's plugins that I swear by, and they cost a lot of money, and I love what they do. But I am also a massive, massive fan of just free stuff. I love me some free stuff. Okay, let's. There's free. Song submission from yesterday's live. Okay, beautiful. Did you put it in the free line? I got you, Timmy. I got you. And I am going to probably close up the line here pretty quick. Give me 1 second here. Thank y'all all for the follows. I appreciate you so much. Free is the way to be. I love it. I love me some free stuff. Let me do it. Give me 1 second. Let me clear Jesse's here. And then Timmy, let me double check for yours because I'm going to give you the extra from yesterday as well. I want to make sure you're set and ready to go. Let me see. Oh shit, we're stacked. Okay, yes, I got. Hold on 1 second. I got you. Timmy. You should be go check, but you should be in line and you should be ready to go. Thank you so much, Jesse. I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you so much for tapping in today. Okay, so let's see, Timmy. I got you. Let me refresh really quick. Currently, you are. So let me see where I'm at. Let me see. Shane, Timmy, Nova, Barkback, Kingston, and Justin. Okay, I'll probably close the line in a bit, or I'll maybe have to save a couple later. We'll have to see how much time I have. Shane, let's get into it. I know the song. I've heard the song a couple times. Let's get into it. My song sounds always so thin. Why? I use a pre 73. But it's still thin. If you're using a 1073, I don't know if you have an EQ attached to your 1073. I've used a 1073 many of times. In fact, I have one on the way to the studio. The 1073 is great, but it needs to be pushed. If you want weight out of it, you need to push the transformer. So if you have a 1073 or an emulation of a 1073 that has a transformer or whatever it may be, you need to push it. The EQ does have a good sound. You can, if you have the EQ, depending on the preamp that you're talking about, whether it's like a Warm Audio or Heritage or whatever it may be, or if it's a Neve or a BAE or a Vintech. If you have one with an EQ, then obviously just double check your EQ settings, double check your high pass settings, things like that. But if you want the weight, you want the saturation, you want that push from the 1073. A lot of that happens on that input, so you gotta push it. You gotta push it, and then maybe dial back the trim. That's where a lot of the weight from that preamp comes from. And so just having used them plenty of different times, a lot of people that are looking for that thicker sound, they just like turn up the output, or they just keep the trim hot and EQ it, and then turn it up later, or run it into another compressor, and the compressor cranks it for them. And then they're like, man, I'm not getting what I think I'm trying to get out of the 1073, but it's because they're not adjusting their input. So just make sure that you're adjusting your gain. That's where you're going to get all of the life that people love the 1073 in particular for. It's not a transparent preamp. So if you have a 73 and you want some weight, you got to push it. You got to push it and then dial it back later. All right, let's get it. Shane, let's dive in. This is Twin by Shane. Let's get into some details here. It is unable to play the audio file, so we're going to download it. I think so, Luca. I'm pretty sure. That sounds familiar. AH producer. It's on the link up to. Okay, yeah. If you submitted from the link that's in the bio, then I should have everything I need from you. All right, let's get this downloaded. 1 sec. I'm getting so many calls today. What in the world is going on? So many spam calls. All right. Let me know. Okay, we've got it here. Let me know if there's anything in particular you want me to hone in on for this one, Shane. Let me know. Welcome in, y'all. It's sick. That's sick. It's such a good song, man. It's such a good song. Man, show some love. Show some love. For those of you who don't know, I've heard this. I've heard the song a bunch of different times. So I'm gonna. There's some things that we've already addressed that we'll dig into, or that we won't dig into as much, and some things that I want to focus on, just so y'all have some context on kind of what we're breaking down here. But man, show some love to the family. Shane Paul right here in the chat. I've dropped it into Pro Tools. We're going to dive into some details here. So let me cut this. Oh, hold on. Don't do that. Don't do that. Stop. It's retiming everything. I do not want you to retime anything. Let's run it. So I'm going to look at a couple things. One of the things I'm going to listen for is the ringing or the hook a little bit still on the background vocals, as well as a couple other layers in here where we're getting a lot of unbeneficial resonance. We're getting a lot of ringing in the high mids. So I want to address that. I want to look at that briefly, and then we'll look at a couple other areas in the EQ that, like you said, are creating this really boxy mix where it's like very sub-heavy and still really bright at the top. But I feel like there's a lot of hollowing that's going on in the middle of the mix. It could be a couple things in parallel. It could be widening happening. That's hollowing out the middle of the mix, some like Haas effect, and or some actual mids being cut out of specific elements, and then countering that with a lot of weight in the low end and the high end as well. So I want to look at a couple things. Largely for me right now, it's EQ, and I think it's EQ. Joseph, thank you so much for the gifts, man. I appreciate it. Y'all have been amazing. I appreciate y'all's generosity. I think a lot of the issues that we're hearing here are issues in separation, the issues and all of these little details here, the issues in like distinction between different layers. I think a lot of it's happening on the EQ side, where your positioning seems to be pretty strong as far as like where things are positioned, the double tracks, the acoustics, the layers of your vocal. So I think your panning is pretty good, and even like level wise, there's a lot of. I appreciate you so much, man. Level wise, I feel like you're in a pretty good spot, but there's still a lot of mud on the EQ side. And that's where it's going to be. That's where it's going to be the most challenging. I did an EQ match with a reference track on the mix bus. I don't like it. Oh, like you did it. This stupid chair. This stupid chair keeps falling. Like with ozone or something like that. Is that what you're talking about? If that might anything that you do blanket on the mix bus is gonna probably create a lot of issues for you and a lot of mud for you. So let's talk through Logic Native EQ Match Tool. I definitely wouldn't do anything like that right now. There's too much. There's this chair, geez, it just keeps knocking down. There's too much nuance in this mix. There's too many things that can't just be recreated with like EQ match, because it's not just about the curve of them. It's what's manifested within that curve. So let's just as an example, right? Let's say you have like a bass guitar, an acoustic guitar, and a cello all sitting in kind of like the low mids. If you just EQ match, it might just crank all of these random different elements. I hate this chair so much, it's going to drive me nuts. It might crank all these different elements in order to like match the EQ, but now randomly your acoustic guitar is super boomy, and there's no reason that it should be super boomy. It should just be something that you mitigate or that you focus on when it comes to like the kick itself, and vice versa, like any other way, right? And so when you're just matching EQ curves, especially on a mix bus or a master, right? If you're just matching EQ curves, what manifests in the mix when that happens is going to be very far outside of your control. Facebook, I know. This thing is driving me nuts. I had a chair before this that did the same thing. And it just, every time I like turn a little bit, it just drops 2 inches down again. And then I realize I'm like looking up at my microphone. I'm like, wait, what the hell's going on here? I have a milk to remove that and go on and just, I'll try to figure out what the first part means, but let me know. And just the elements that apply to those. Yeah. I would go back in and see a note. Okay, sounds good. I was like, I'm gonna let you figure out what that was supposed to be, because I was lost. I was lost there first. I was like, I have a milk to remove it. But yeah, okay. I would just kind of go back. I think the thing that I've realized with a lot of your productions too is sometimes I'm trying to quit milking. There's some times where we go so deep into the processing that it can be hard to find our way back sometimes. And I think we realized this not that long ago when we were running into like a bunch of compression things or a bunch of reverb channels and stuff like that, where just bypassing some things just reclarifies the mix dramatically. And so that's where I'm kind of intrigued with like, I'm kind of curious if you just bypassed everything on your master or everything on your mix bus and just like did nothing but a limiter, if it might just already give you the clarity that you're probably looking for, and then you can just optimize for loudness. I can hear all of these like things trying to widen, these things trying to boost lows, like all these elements that are kind of happening here that, in my opinion, are degrading your signal a bit and making the final mix feel kind of mushed together, as opposed to dynamic and having all these different elements that you can hear with clarity. It doesn't mean you can't still have it distorted and crunchy and all the stuff that we love. But anyways, I dropped it in Pro Tools. Let's dive into a couple quick things here, and then we'll do new and same. I saturate quite literally everything. I love saturation. It's part of the reason why I have the things that I have. It's one of the reasons why I have a tube bass set up over here. So the reason why I have a tube guitar amp. It's the reason why I have a tube microphone. It's the reason why I love like the old DACs and these old like 70s and 80s synthesizers. Like I love. That's why I got this tape machine down here that I haven't messed with yet, but I need to. It's why I have a lot of this. Why I have a tube mic preamp, so on and so on. Like I love that saturation. I love that breakup. It adds so much character and so much warmth to your mix. So I'm a fan, and I want it to be fuzzy. I want it to be distorted. I want it to sound nasty. So I want to keep all that in your track. At the same time, I want to be able to tell what is doing that. I want some separation and saturation and so on in there. I have an 1176 and then up to on the mix bus, but probably too much glue. Yeah, I mean, again, this all just comes down to like checking, for one, using your ears, using your ears to like, if something is feeling it's too squished, then reduce your thresholds, right? Or the amount of threshold that you're lowering. Okay, got you. And reducing your thresholds, and then also just check like if I want to make sure that I'm not doing too much. If I'm compressing on a bus, largely speaking, I will pretty much do nothing but over like 2 dB. If it is there for glue, all you need is like a dB or 2 dB for it to be glue, for it to act as what you want it to act as. If you are going farther than 2 dB, if you're in the 3-4 plus range, you are making heavier stylistic decisions, which can be good if you know what you're doing, because then you know how to kind of surgically look into what you're doing and make changes to it if you're running into a pain point. But if you don't, if you're running into some issues and you don't know where to unwind, it can just the song can feel like a runaway train. At 1.5 dB with both 1176 and LA2. Beautiful. Yeah, that should be fine. I would if you're on the bus, one that's really, really great for the bus is the G-Bus compressor. The SSL G-Bus compressor, as I use that most of the time on a lot of my buses. Sometimes I'll just use a stock compressor, but I use the G-Bus on a lot of stuff. Okay, I've dropped it in Pro Tools. Let's listen to a couple things here just real quick, and then we'll move on. I just want to kind of see what's happening with the EQ here. Just right there. So just Jesus. This is so frustrating. Anyways, just right there. So at about 2000 hertz. 2000 hertz right there is a huge push that's happening in your mids. So I'm gonna play it back here. If y'all just see me slowly shrinking down. Okay. Listen to this. That's what we're listening for, right? That's the ringing that's happening. I just dropped that, 2,000 hertz down by a couple dB, and it reflattens that whole curve. There's more. Right there too. So I want to hear this hook back and forth right now. So here's what I've done, just loosely, like just to kind of see what's happening here. There's a lot of sub. Another bite at 4. Yeah. So I have another one at about 3,800. It's right there. And then, yeah, there's another one a little bit higher. I think it's happening either in the guitars or the vocal layers in the background. But yeah, the two that stand out the most are your 2 and 4-ish. 2 and 4-ish right there is pretty heavy. And so all I'm doing right here, it's really sub heavy. Again, there's a lot of boominess that's happening on the low end. So I turned down, I did a broad low bell curve. So it's affecting a lot around it, not necessarily a shelf. Yeah, sub boost was part of the match EQ thing. I wish I hadn't left it on there for, yeah. I mean, that's a big part of it. So I'm just reducing that, right? About 2 or 3 dB. And I'm pushing up another 3 dB at like 600 hertz. I just want some of those mids back in there so that lower mids in there, so it doesn't feel like we're losing all of that steam and all of that energy in the low. I don't want it to feel just subby and then empty right after that, because that's where you get that kind of hollowness and that kind of that really mellow, hollow feeling in the mix. So that right there is part of it. Super Fresh, thank you for the follow. So I mitigated some of the issues that we had in the subs, and then of course reintroduced it like 600 hertz. That's branching between about 400 and 800. So it's got a nice push right there. And then took out the 2 and 4K by about 3 to 3.5 dB a piece. Yeah, when I bypass it, you just get this big inflation in the low end, and then you get a lot of that ringing right there. For one, accessing analog, added a tape machine, shaves the bass off. So, but yeah, a tape emulation can help a lot. I use the Kramer tape all the time. There's a couple other ones that I've used, and even the emulations do a pretty good job. Like I got a tape machine not that long ago. It's an old TC355. Solid state tape machine. So it's not a tube tape machine, but you can still get that if you have magnetic tape, which I'll get. You can still get that. You can still get some of that crunch and some of that saturation, especially if you push the preamps a little bit more. So I'm hoping to get that up and running. I need to fix it. I bought it, broken. I bought it needing some fixing up because it was a project I wanted to work on. So I need to fix it up. I just got my receiving. I just got my receiver here. So I need to get some other tape and then get it all worked out. But anyways, that's the site. That's neither here. Yeah, it's a Sony TC355, I think. It's from the 60s, like mid to late 60s, I believe. And it works. I posted a video a couple months ago, but it turns on, it goes forward, it reverses, it changes speed. So it does work, but it's a little grindy. It's a little interesting. But yeah, I got it a while ago. I got it in a trade with a bunch of synths and stuff like that. So a guy gave me a PS170. He gave me this tape machine and trade him on a couple other things. It was fun. So I'm interested to dig into that a little bit as well. We'd love to like sample things through it as well. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. So the biggest thing that I want you to focus on, let me get out of this EQ really quick. The biggest thing that I want you to focus on is, for one, just kind of unwinding some of the things that are giving you issues right now. And not trying to, because right now, the way that it feels, and this might not necessarily be the case, Shane, but it sounds like there's a lot on the processing side that is just happening as compensations for other things, not as like directed stylistic choices. And so that to me is kind of what I'm listening for here. And what I'm trying to dissect a little bit more of is there's a lot that's happening that just feels like it's a response to another issue, as opposed to just having the track that you have feel clean and clear and presented well in the mix. Like you dialed in the tone of your guitar and it sounds great. It's fuzzy and it's dirty and I love it. So you shouldn't need to do a ton. outside of, and your vocal is great, and outside of like the stylistic effects that you want to have on there and stuff like that, you shouldn't need to do a ton outside of just like tasteful leveling and, gain staging and stuff like that, positioning with your panning, tasteful control over your compression and EQs and stuff like that, to correct what's there. So that's Fabian, thank you for the follow. That's what I'm looking for here is there's things that feel pushed, exaggerated wide. There's all the EQ curve stuff that you already talked about with the EQ match that you did, and things like that, where it just feels like those decisions are kind of overwhelming the mix, where my intuition tells me that if we just kind of bypassed half the things that were here, all these huge EQ curves, all these compression stances over or sequences over a multiple buses and stuff like that, I think we'd probably be able to breathe a little bit more in this mix if we just bypassed a few of these things, to be honest with you. And so that's what I'm curious. That's what I'm curious about, is where that's happening, where those pain points are actually hitting. What's up, Wubsy? And anyways, let me get back into the meat of the song here. I want to get into the last half of the song here just really briefly. Courtney, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Because I really like the aesthetic. I really like the mood of the song. I like a lot of your sound design choice. I think they're great. I don't think you're doing anything wrong with the song. I'm just hearing stages that have gone forward and forward and forward, and we're having to do a little bit of rewinding here and unwinding here to kind of get the song back a little bit is kind of what I feel. Like I would be curious. I might have to do this because I think I'm potentially going to be, if I'm not mistaken, I think I'm going to be working on the master on the song. I would be very, very curious to have you send me the track, like bypassing a bunch of stuff. I'll have you send me like a screenshot of like your mix window. And I'll just like look at what's there, and I'll probably just tell you, hey, just bypass this, and see if it doesn't just open up a little bit. Cause that's like my intuition is there's just like, my intuition tells me that there's like an EQ that happened. The EQ didn't fix something, so we tried to fix it with the next like multi-band compressor. And since that made it really, really bright, we like added another EQ to like soften this again. But then the guitar sounded thin, so we added this to like make it sound thicker. And then we pushed the distortion farther than we typically would have because it gave it a lot of body. But that's only because it was thinned out by the EQ from before. Like, like there's these little things that are kind of happening. I'm not saying that's exact, I don't know the session, but that idea sounds like that's what's happening. There's a lot of Band-Aid plugins, is kind of what it's on, and Band-Aid processing that's happening. And so I would love to unwind a lot of that and just get back to like, what is the core sound and core of the song again? Because sometimes, like I said, you can just be so deep in the song and so deep in the processing, you're like, I don't even remember what I started with. And getting back to kind of like the core elements there. Let me hear the last part here and then we'll move on. I love it, Teb. I love it. And like those guitar lines are great, man. They're fantastic. Like, yeah, there's so much of that is so well done. It's so well done. Like, seriously, man, you've done a fantastic job. I think the writing is structured well. The dynamics of the song are awesome. You have twists and turns, different progressions. The song is interesting and engaging to listen to. That's not your pain point. Your pain point is not that it's not like structured well, that it's not like, good sounds and like good ideas and stuff like that. And that's some of the hardest stuff to come by. There's a lot about this song that I really, really enjoy listening to that I think my gut is that, or my, take would that be, it just feels like a lot of those great ideas are being disguised by processing decisions. And I think if you just, if we unwind just a handful of them might be standing in the way of your clarity, I think you'll be in a much better spot. So I think you and I offline too, we can lock in on that. I'll have you send maybe a series of screenshots and I'll be like, hey, try this, send me a song back, try this, send me a song back. We'll try to go through a series of adjustments there and just see, it's like, oh yeah, let's unwind unwind this, or this thing that you're trying to do just on the drum set is something that I'll balance on mastering, where it's like, we don't need to try to get that loudness here now. We can do it, later on in the structure of the song, where we're like pursuing certain levels of glue too early in the process, as opposed to tastefully bussing out and maybe too much happening in too many different spaces. But man, please show some love to Shane. Everything's at the link in my bio. Everything's at the link in my bio. I appreciate y'all so much for tapping in today. I appreciate it a lot. Yeah, if you want to submit your music, everything's at the link. If you want to move faster, it's the same link. If you want to check the queue, it's the same link, so on and so on. Barkback, I got you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for the move forward. I appreciate that a lot. But man, please show some love to Shane. Show some love. That's the family right there. I'm really excited. I mean, I know this song has been a whole source of pain for you. I know you've gone back and forth with this record for a while now, and so that's kind of what I'm excited for. Is like I can hear the song's potential. I can see your potential. I think you're going to be ready to go. I'm gonna fix that and send it to you. Will you send it back? Yeah, of course. Yeah. I'm gonna make sure we get your stuff ready. I'm gonna make sure we get your stuff ready. So if there's anything else I need to, at least loosely, like, it doesn't mean the song's gonna be perfect before that point, but if there's like major elements of clarity that need to happen before we move to the mastering stage, then I want to make sure those things are addressed as well. But y'all, show some love to Shane. Let's keep it going. We got Front Seat by Barkback. Let's get into it. Barkback, it is my first time hearing your music, so I'm so excited to get into this. Let's dive into some of the details. Talk to me about the production. Talk to me about the mix. Barkback is an indie project I'm working on now, slowly finding my sound and posting what I feel comfortable with, even if they are somewhat demos. I love that. I think that's fantastic. Yeah. Talk to me about the role. I do all the work producing. That's exactly what I was going to ask. Yeah. Any other details you want me to know? So this is Barkback. I do all the work, produce, mix, vocals, etc. All right. Same thing as Shane. Beautifully done. Let's get it. Let me open up on SoundCloud real quick and let's dive in. Let's keep it rolling.
You're a front seat kind of girl, 'cause you keep me up all night. Long drives and you got the odds with every song I like. And every song that you play for me makes me feel alive. I said, oh my God, please hurry rewind. Go back, use your lips. Rewind, let's just kiss. Don't talk.
Cool ear candy there.
Like when we first met. I love your eyes. I know you love mine. Go back, rewind. Go back, rewind. Understand our options. I'm trying to be cautious.
It's a cool feel. I like kind of the overgating that's happening. It's cool. It's like really tight, really snappy staccato.
You're a front seat kind of girl, 'cause you keep me up all night. Long drives and you got the odds with every song I like.
Cool feel.
And every song that you play for me makes me feel alive. I said, oh my God, please hurry rewind.
Super, super cool. Y'all, show some love. Show some love. Show some love. I feel that, Miranda. I feel that, man. Please show some love to Barkback. They're over on the Purple app right now. Shout out to you, man. All flowers to you. This is cool, man. It's a cool feel. I like a lot of the aesthetic. It reminds me of there's an artist called Graham. He's a producer, but he's also an artist. But vocal structure, fast vibrato, airier vocal, very comfortable melodic register for you right there. It's really, really easy. But man, show some love. Show some love. That is Front Seat by Barkback. Let's talk about a couple details here. Let's get into the nuances of it. But I really like this aesthetic. I really, really like this feel right here. I think we can dive into some of these elements here and get into something really fun, man. It's a cool record. It's got a unique feel. Like I said, I really like the kind of overgating of the drums and the reverb right there. All of that's like really tight and really snappy. It makes it feel really staccato and really sharp. I like that a lot, man. Seriously, great tone, great sound. Let's dive in. Let's run it from the top.
You're a front seat
Good early introduction of the vocal as well.
kind of girl, 'cause you keep me up all night. Long drives and you got the odds with every song I like.
I also love the like really tight, like plate reverb ish, like 0.2 second reverb with like the phasing on it in the background. The way that you've built out that aux, and the way that you've built out that layer structure right there, chef's kiss. I love it. It feels interesting and room verb everything, and it's got this like phasiness to it that's really engaging to listen to. Obviously, it makes your vocal structure feel really wide and really open and really energetic. But I love it. I love it. It has a really, really cool sound to it. Them drums are punchy. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And every song that you play for me makes me feel alive. I said, oh my God, please hurry right. Go back.
Thank you for the follow.
Rewind, let's just kiss. Don't talk, let's just sit like when we first met.
One thing you can do that's really interesting, I've been messing around with this lately because another Grammy-winning producer was talking about it. There's something that Johan Lennox does a lot in the background of his music. He's an awesome producer, and he works with a Grammy-winning engineer on his song as well. Vad, it's good to see you. But one thing that he does is on some layers of his background, if he has like a room reverb or a short plate reverb, not just as a tool to set the vocal in space, but as like a layer to the vocal, similar to the way that you do, where this reverb is as much a layer of the song as it is like setting the vocal into a room, right? It feels tight and it feels really, really sharp. If you're doing that, one thing that can be really, really cool is keep the vocal dry, like keep the vocal the way that it is. But on the actual reverb, even like where you have some of the phasing and stuff like that, adding a formant shift down or up, depending on what you want to do, but adding a formant shift actually to the reverb. So the reverb, since it is more of a layer of your vocal, not just space, it's not just like a hall reverb, but add like a little altar boy or something like that to the background of that track right there, and actually shift. So the reverb as a layer is this kind of like slow decay, like kind of like soft decay, lower, mellow, weird vocal. You know what I mean? It's weird and it's quirky, but I've tried it a couple times now. It sounds sick, especially if you have like a 0.1 like tight room on the vocal. It's something really cool. So the reason why I brought that up is like these little sections right here, it could be cool to change the sound design of the song a little bit more and shift the energy slightly. It'll feel like darker. It'll feel moodier. Right now, your vocal, which is awesome. I really like the way that you're processing your vocal. But it's very consistent in its sound design. Nothing wrong with that. It's very consistent in its sound design and kind of what it does in the song. It could be cool to have little moments where the backgrounds take a little bit of a darker turn, and you don't have to go crazy. You don't have to drop an octave, just a 10% formant shift down. And then maybe another layer, you 10% formant shift up on your delays or on your reverbs, on your chorus aux, whatever it may be. It could be fun. Like right in here.
Let's just kiss. Don't talk, let's just sit like
Nasty.
when we first met.
Dial it down a sec.
Love your eyes. I know you love mine.
That could be nasty.
Rewind.
Percussion is sick too. I like the movement. Stereo field feels wide. It feels energetic. Yeah, you're crushing it, man. You're absolutely crushing it. The song structure is great. The dynamics are awesome. It's moody. It's tight. It's punchy. It's a great song. This is a song that I think has great replay. It's not long. It's not drawn out. You get to the song quick. The information that's there is really well structured. There's no dead space in this where you're losing steam or anything like that. It's a very, very interesting song structure, and I think it's really engaging. I could imagine this doing really well for you.
Go back. You really understand our options. I'm trying to be cautious. There's a lot on the road out here. There's a lot on the road, my understand our options.
Yeah, that's literally what I'm listening for. Let me hear. On SoundCloud. It's on SoundCloud. They're asking on TikTok. It's released on SoundCloud, but I don't know if it's out on platforms yet.
My God, just kiss. You really understand. You got the odds with every song you see. Kind of girl, 'cause you keep me
Cool.
up
Yeah.
all night.
They said in about 2 weeks or so.
Guys, and you got the odds. Understand our options. I'm trying to be cautious. There's a lot on the road out here. There's a lot on the road, my dear. Understand our
Yeah, with this as like a bridge here, I think all of your potential is going to come in how you build out your layers. So I'm going to back it up here a little bit. JD, thank you for the follow. All right, so what's going on? So you have this, you know. Let me take off. What is going on here? Oh, it's all this reverb from the last song. Let me move this out. I don't need all that on here. Okay, so you have this, you know. Kind of just like you're kind of just like walking through your minors from like the 6, 3, 2, 1 basically right there. I like the progression there too. It gives it this kind of eerie feeling right there. I think for me, this is going to come down to how you fill in your sound design. You really only have Corey, everything's at the link in my bio. You only have a couple layers here, and the layers that are there are strong. The layers that are there are strong, but it does feel like we're missing kind of a distinct hook structure here. You do have a hook, but there's not a lot that's happening in the hook specifically that kind of distinguishes it energetically from the rest of the song outside of like one little guitar layer. And so like here we have like that little dun 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 dun. That little guitar layer right there is about it's about the only distinguishing factor that we have between these different layers. So it could be nice to come in with some filler. How you do that, in my mind, something that I don't want to change your sound design a whole lot. I love synths. I think if you brought some like ring modulated, kind of metallic sounding lead, like you don't really have a clear top line for the instrumentation outside of like your vocal. So you have like in this moment here. Like you could have some like whatever, you know, some bendy, metallic, portamento, modulated sound right there. How you do that, have some fun with it. But that's where I feel like it needs some different moments in there to elevate some of the energy. And one of the things that it is missing, you're really relying on vocals and percussion and bass here. Which is completely fine. Yeah, 100%. A little bit more alternative. Obviously, that depends on if stylistically you wanted to move that direction. But that's kind of what I'm looking at. Corey, thank you for the rose. That's what I'm looking at. It's like, can we find some moments in here? What's so slim? Where we can wake it up a little bit. We can kind of snap out of the rigidity of where it is right now, because your vocal is cool, the bass sounds good, the drums are punchy. I really like them, but we definitely need one or two other elements in here to kind of just wake up the song, so it's not so chill it becomes boring. It's not so moody that it becomes monotonous. And I think that's the line you're gonna have to travel here a little bit. Where if you go too far on the chill side and don't add any new information or new elements, then even a really cool sounding, good sounding song can get boring. And I would hate for that to happen, because you do have good structure here and you do have a cool voice and I think a cool perspective on the song. And so I think even the smallest details of like first hook, maybe you just have the guitar, maybe in this bridge-ish section right here, you add a nice, maybe you add another layer of synth underneath here. So like another element. Like have like another like plunky kind of chunked synth that sits over the guitar there a little bit, not piano, but and like follows like the notes down with the bass. There's a chromatic walk in the bass. You could follow that as well, like something that pushes right there, and then a dun 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 dun. Like either like a sampled cello or like a really metallic bass right there. I think could help with the dynamics there a little bit. Yeah, my goal is always reduce and not add. Almost a fear to add too much or do too much. Well, for sure, like to add one more element or even do 100%. I totally get that too, and I don't think that's a bad intuition to have, Bark. I think like I think that's probably a good practice because a lot of people overproduce and a lot of people just over add. And before you know it, their production is like muddy and noisy and busy. But here it's very, very simplistic. And I do think the simplicity is a good aspect of the song. So the thing that I'm kind of looking for is, can we stack the simplicity? So even if there is 15 tracks, you're only hearing them do a couple things. So if the bass is going dun dun, the bass is down here, boom 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 boom, or so dun 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 dun. If it's doing this, and that's just what it's doing, can we just add one more thing that goes? Like, what if you just have one little synth and it's literally doing this same rhythm as the bass, same rhythm as the other structures, and it's just a little pluck only on the hook. So with the guitar only on the hook, you just have this. That's literally it. And it's so simple. It doesn't add noise or busyness to the track. It's actually in line with everything else that you already have. And then maybe you do have one element that does fill in the something that's bendy, right? But even just like a couple plucks right here, if you added a nice little sharp chorused pluck, only on the hooks with the guitar and maybe something on the bridge, even just that, it's more elements, but those more elements are in line with the production, so it doesn't feel busier or noisier. It just sounds like there's a higher dynamic that's coming in, while still feeling really, obviously, if you do this strategically, it can still feel very chill and very, very natural. Especially with such simplicity, a lead or a melody can become a huge highlight. 100%. Yeah, because it's the only thing I'm really worried about is it being so biased towards simplicity that it becomes monotonous, which would be a shame because it sounds good. It sounds really cool, and I really like the style of the song, and I like what you're doing vocally. So I'm imagining a world. Where you add like one other layer in line with the guitar and bass for the hook, and one lead element to help complement it right there. And then in tandem to that, maybe adding the formant shifts on the vocals and the breakdown. So those feel more special and those feel more interesting when you simplify for the breakdown right there. I think right there is great. They're not Tep. They're not at all. They're in agreement. They're in complete agreement. They're not fighting anything. Tep, what are you talking about? Tep, I don't even know what you're talking about, Tep. That's coming out of nowhere. Anyways, let me hear the last part of the song here really quick.
And every song that you play for me makes me feel alive. I said,
Magic.
Oh my God, please rewind.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where that came from. Anyways, I get it. I get what you're talking about, Bark. Man, show some love. Bark, I like what you're doing. That is Bark back. The song is called Front Seat. I genuinely, I'm enjoying what you're doing. I think you have a great perspective on the song. Like I feel like this is the first time I've ever heard your music. It's the first time that I've ever consumed anything of yours, and I immediately know what you're doing. You know what I mean? That to me is huge. Where I get it. Like I understand your vision. I get kind of the aesthetic that you're going for, and I feel like you're executing within that space really, really well. You know what I want you to, you might know them. Magic always. You might know them. Have you heard Galdives? If you haven't, I need you to. You have not. I need you to go listen to. So I mean, they've a bunch of music now, and they just started touring. They're still fairly small. It's fairly small. But they have a song called "Teach Me How to Love," I think is what it's called. I think. Let me see. I think it's just. Yeah, let me drop it over. I'll double check really quick because I don't want to get it wrong. I mean, it'll pop up there. It'll pop up. Galdiv, no S. They're not plural. Yeah, you got it. I'll drop it in the chat on TikTok as well. They are not plural. It's just one Galdiv. There's no S. Boom. There we go. That right there. Listen to that song. It's a different style. Here, actually, I'm gonna play a piece for you just because I want, and you can go through their stuff. This is different. What's up, Bandit? Good to see you. This is different. Let's go, Slim. Happy birthday. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, I want to show you something really quick because here's what I want you to listen for. This is different. It's a different style to some extent, but I want to kind of show you what they're doing and why I think it could relate to what you're doing. Just really quick.
What can we do differently?
Very, very simple. Starting out.
Really never meant to be. When you kissed me slowly, did we cross the line? Can't the world just
Once we get into it, I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about.
'Cause you made me love the things I hate about myself.
Okay, so even right here, so these are the little details. Again, slightly different perspective on the music, but this is what I want you to look for, and just wait till it drops. Their producer, so it's a duo. It's a duo. And they're so fantastic. But here's what I want you to listen for. Guitar line carries most of it, similar vein. Your bass is kind of the guitar in this case. And then you'll just randomly hear bum, bum, with a bunch of reverb with like a bell on the right side. And then a random little half a second of a vocal sample on the left side, then it's back to guitar. And then you just randomly hear bum, bum. Again, but they're in line with the production. So it's like you don't even necessarily know that they're there. They're these subtle little punches of energy. That's the idea that I'm listening for with your music, is how do you do that? Keep the bass and the drums as the core of the song with your vocal, and it sounds awesome, and still give it those little ear candy taste things that are happening in the background. I'll play it a little bit more. Here.
'Cause you made me love the things I hate about myself.
Little bell.
How can I learn to
Listen for the filler.
love like no one else? Teach
Come
me
on.
how to love like you.
Little bells.
Teach me how
It's
to
so
love
subtle.
like you.
And then this is where it gets
Teach
fun.
me how to
They made all of these samples too, by the way. These are modern. They created these samples from scratch, vocals and everything. It's so fun. I want you to hear the drop really quick. They're so fun. Here it comes.
teach me how to.
Come on. Come on, somebody. I love their stuff. But what you'll hear, again, yeah, exactly. Really, really solid foundation. In this case, drums, bass, vocal sample, tight, super locked in, beautiful sign chaining, great mixing. The structure is fantastic, but it's boom, 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 ka, boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? It's the fillers in between. It's the ear candy. It's the creativity that happens in the space that, to me, makes the song feel so cool, right? It's not just that the bass and the drums hit really hard. They do, as does your song. But it's all the little taste things that happen in between that I think makes it feel more interesting and more engaging to listen to. So anyways, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all show some love to Bark Back. They're over on Twitch right now. I love and appreciate what you do so much. Thank you so much for sending it in. Miles, it's so good to see you. Thanks for tapping in. I love ear candy too. I feel like ear candy as a loose, unscientific term, to me, is a lot of what makes music. It's not just when we hear like, oh, the 808 is hitting. It's like, sure, but it's also the reason why it hits is because of these other little things that are happening that create contrast for it to have space there. And those are the things that I think are really enjoying to listen to. But Ben, Barkback, I love what you're doing. I cannot wait to hear more from you. I think you're absolutely fantastic at what you do. Let's keep the music going. Give me a second. I got to refresh over here. Derek Bennett, good to see you, man. I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. Timmy, let me know. I see your name in the lane. So I'm pretty positive that you're here. But if anybody would like to submit your music, everything is at the link in my bio. If you would like to submit your music for the consultation lane, if you would like to skip or move yourself forward, all of that is in the exact same spot, because I do know sometimes it takes a bit of time. But let's get into it. We got Timmy in the building. Timmy, you made it. You're ready to go. I got you that extra 5. That way you can go a little bit faster as well. Let me see. Dun, 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 dun. If the pedals aren't true bypass, you might as well just call it a demo. Let's see. Yeah, everything's at the link in my bio. Everything's at the link in my bio. Okay, let's get it, Timmy. First single dropped in May. If there was any details you put in the first submission of the song, let me know. And then let's get into it. Let's get into it. Yeah, but talk me through some of the details of this record if I maybe missed it the last time. Abraham Lincoln bio facts. All right, let's run it. This is No Wonder by Timmy Ryan. Just in case there was details that I mixed on the last stream that we did. All right, and this one is out on Spotify as well, so go like it, go add it to your playlist, go stream it, so on and so on. No, yeah, you're good. Yeah, if anybody, sorry, I might have missed some messages. If anybody would like to check the queue, it's the same place that you submit. If you go to the submission form, you'll see another link right there that just says check the queue or see the queue or something like that. No, I unfortunately will laugh at that all day long. Whiskey, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. All right. Let's get into it. This is No Wonder by Timmy Ryan. Let's dive in. Self-produced at home. Friend of mine did the mix and master on it. Let's get it. A lot of self-produced stuff today. That makes me so happy. Makes me so happy. Nothing makes me happier than y'all having more autonomy over your sound. It's a nice like Roland TR-505 drum sample. Let's go, Tep. Facts, Miranda. All right, let's go, Timmy. Yeah. Absolutely, all genres. Got you, Richard. Thank you so much, man. That's the only thing I won't accept. You can send anything else. What are you recording your vocals on? The queue is at the link in my bio. Okay, cool. I did that the other day, Miles. I was in my drive. Found a bunch of old stuff. It's a good song structure, man. Great melodies. That's catchy. Thank you for the follow, Richard. Appreciate it. And thank you for the rose as well. I like it. Beautiful, beautiful. That is No Wonder by Timmy Ryan in the building. Since no one can afford yachts, this is pontoon rock. Facts. This is canoe rock. It's going to be the new. It's going to be since no one can afford yachts. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yacht rock is over. Yacht rock is over. We're on canoe rock now. That's the new. It's the new vibe we're on. But y'all show some love. That's rap. Rap rock's even better. Kingston, that's great. Where's my wait? Hold on. There we go. There we go. Raft rock flows because that's better. Raft rock is where it's at. Raft rock is where it's at. All right, let's get into it, man. Y'all, please show some love. Show some love, show some love. That is No Wonder by Timmy Ryan. Let's dive into the details. For one, I like your song structure. You have great melodies. This has kind of been the thing for most. It really is, Justin. It seriously is a great subgenre. There's like yacht rock, and then there's like, which is for like the Nepo kids. Yacht rock is for like the Nepo kids who got into making music after their, dad sold AT&T or something like that. And then raft rock is for the rest of us trying to just do like soft, early 2000s style soft rock. It's so funny. Okay, let's get into some of the details here. But I love your song structure. One of the things with a lot of the music we've heard today is maybe some mixing challenges, maybe some pain points as far as like building out sound design. But that's the way it is. Maybe there's some polished things that we can do, but the song is good. Like I think your structure is great. I do think that your melody choices are very, very catchy. Great repetition, great structure. You're doing a lot of the foundational things really, really well. A lot of the things that I'm listening for are actually largely on the mixing side, which I know you said you had a buddy of yours that mixed it. Most of it's on the mixing side. Your vocal to me is coming through a little bit thin, a little bit over exaggerated at the top end, and then probably complemented by some like high end excitement, high EQ pushes, and a really bright hall reverb as well. So then the top of the mix kind of has this hiss to it. It has this kind of sharpness to the top of the mix, as opposed to what I love about this genre is it feeling very like warm and saturated and a little bit more mellow. If you really heighten and hypen, these different frequencies, especially at the top range, 10K plus, it will make it feel more agitated. It'll make it feel like it has a lot more energy than maybe you want it to. So what I would love to do is soften a lot of this. Yacht rock is so last year. I would love to soften this a little bit, darken up that vocal, actually just a little bit, saturate it well, and then push it forward in the mix to give it the weight that it needs. And also we'll talk about the thinning too. So let's run it from the top. Let's talk about a couple of these details. But Timmy, I like the song. I mean, I really do. I think like production, I think you said you produced this whole thing as well. I think your productions are great. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. But I think you're a good producer. I like your instincts as far as dynamics go and production goes and melody goes. I think you're doing a great job. I think you're crushing it. So let's run it back from the top. Let's dig into a couple of these details, but let's run it. So again, I'm going to start talking about a bunch of tiny little details that all build up. Small detail right off the bat on the acoustic guitars, which again, fine sounding acoustic guitar, no complaints. But it has this really, really bright, like plate reverb at the very top of it, or something that is at the very, very top. It gives it this kind of hiss. And then what happens is all of these different elements start to build up. So we have this really bright reverb on the acoustic, a really bright reverb on the vocals. The vocals themselves are already really bright, so on and so on. And so then the top of the mix gets just kind of brittle. It gets a little bit harsh. I would love to, for one, maybe switch out that reverb, something a little bit different, but I would like on this kind of our speakers for the people facts. I used to have some KRKs. That's my first pair of speakers. First pair of speakers was KRKs. Might have gone overboard on some reverb. I mean, hey, I'm a fan of reverb. This is not where like I think everything needs to be like dead and dry or anything like that. This just largely comes down to what reverb and what the reverb is doing. There's nothing wrong with having just an obnoxious amount of reverb on an instrument or a vocal. There's nothing wrong with that. It just has to be in service of the song. So in this case, where you want like this really warm, natural sound, which is I'm assuming kind of the goal based on just what I'm hearing in your vocal and the guitars and the drums and stuff. You want this like acoustic, natural alt sound that feels really nice. So if you then exaggerate curves of EQ into a place where it feels unnatural, you get the artifact, you get all this digital processing, then it could just sound. It sounds like the song is over here and the processing of the song is over here, and they're kind of headed in two different directions. So I think we invented raft rock tonight. I think we did. I think it's a beautiful thing. So I want verb, but I would prefer for it to be shorter and darker, in my personal opinion, where maybe we darken this acoustic guitar a little bit, we push it out wide, and then don't push the high end so much. It can be softer and more mellow and a little bit more muted, and then have maybe a darker plate reverb on there or a darker short tail room reverb or hall reverb on there as well. That's kind of where I'm looking at there. Because again, right now we're getting a lot of that hiss, and I would love to mitigate that a little bit. I rap rock. It's hilarious. It works. Sounds good. I'll double check in a sec. Okay, really quick on the vocal side. Nice doubles of the vocal. I don't mind that one bit. It helps me to boost the highs a little on my monitors because the adverse relationship keeps me from overmixing highs. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is you've got to just adapt to your environment. It's one of the reasons why I overspent on headphones like these. These headphones are ridiculous. These headphones are like $1,500. But the reason why I bought these headphones was because at the time, this was a couple years back, at the time, I was running all over the place. I was mixing in a lot of different rooms. I was traveling a lot of different spaces. I was moving around. We had just moved. We were moved to Dallas when I got them, and then after we left there, moved back to San Antonio. I couldn't be in like different rooms all the time, mixing on constantly different environments and different spaces, and not be able to like really compartmentalize them or compartmentalize and have a really consistent mix. And so I got these headphones so you could mix consistently everywhere. On Beat Solo 3, shout out Magic. That's amazing. Are they Audi's headphones? They're Focal. They're Focal Clear MGs. I love them. Yeah, they're the best sounding headphones you'll ever hear. They're absolutely fantastic. But yeah, Focal Clear MGs. But the reason why is because if you're constantly changing environments, it can be really challenging to be consistent in your mix because you're getting a different response every time. So to your point a little bit, Janelle, welcome in. Good to see you. To your point, if you just have to find a way to actually mix in whatever environment. So if you have a certain set of speakers and you know that you tend to bias your mixes in a very specific way, then make adjustments to their profile, make adjustments to the way that they work in your room, so that you can get as consistent of a mix every time that you mix as possible. The tuning on the vocal is extremely subtle. It's a chorus effect, 100%. Something else I was looking at. Okay. So on the vocal side, EQ really quick. I got to move faster. EQ really quick. And then yes, I just saw, Richard, yeah, I got you, Richard. You're ready to go. Yep, I got you ready to go. You should be able to check the queue at any point at the link in my bio just to double check where you're at. And if it's not at the queue, that means someone, or if it's not at the top, then it means someone's moved past you. Okay. On the EQ side, so a couple things that are happening at the same time. Your vocals high pass is pretty high, at least it sounds like to me. It's pretty high. And then you've cut a lot of energy, especially between like 100 and 300 hertz. So that's where a lot of the low end rumble below that point, but a lot of the low end like boominess and mud in the vocals between 100 and 300 hertz, 100 and 400 hertz. If you cut that out a whole bunch, like I'll do right here real quick on my vocal, if you cut that out a lot, your vocal is going to get super thin and super tinny. So if I go here and I pull this frequency down like this is quite literally just one bell curve at 200 hertz. If I pull this down 10 dB like this, it's super, super thin, as you can tell. 40 is the retune speed. Yeah, that's barely anything. What you could do, let me bring this back. What you could do if 40 is your retune speed, maybe your flex tune could be raised a little bit, or your the trigger for it, the mix of it can be a little bit lower. That makes it less sensitive to dips in your vocal. So if the mix of your auto tune is at 100%, even if your retune speed is like 60 milliseconds or something like that, it will still be very sensitive to trying to catch those notes. It's going to make it kind of frustrating to deal with. Every little dip in vibrato in your vocal is going to get caught. So you can lower that sensitivity. Both are set at 40. Check the mix. The mix would be the next thing. The mix would. I don't believe you at all. Tep is riled up today. I don't know what Tep is on. Tep is riled up today. He's just disagreeing with everyone. He's like, why are they fighting over melody? And they're like, I'm not. I agree with everything you're saying. And that's just funny. Anyways, it cracks me up. Got some drinks. Yeah, Tep is a couple drinks in on the raft right now. But anyways. what you can do is lower the sensitivity. So even if you have a slow retune speed and it's humanized and stuff like that, if it's still very sensitive, it can still catch more notes than you want. So that'd be something I would play with as well, is not just the read. This is the fun part about all the little details and Antares and stuff like that, is check the sensitivity. If you feel like it's still grabbing too many, even if it's slowly correcting them, if it's grabbing too many notes, then it might be beneficial to lower the sensitivity. I have to do that all the time, depending on if I'm dealing with a client that has like a wider vibrato or whatever it may be, and I just don't want it to catch as many of the nuances. Lower the sensitivity to where it's working. When you hit a note, it'll correct it, but if there's small changes in the note, it's not trying to correct to different notes as sensitively as some of the other ones. Yeah, they're a little bit muddy because of the chorusing and the reverb and stuff too. But EQ, set your high pass no higher than like 90 hertz, no higher than 90 hertz. You're not singing in a super, super high register. So you don't need a high pass any higher than that unless it's your background vocals you're trying to thin out a little bit. I want a little bit more presence from your vocal. Again, to match a nice acoustic guitar, big, crunchy, saturated drums, so on and so on. I want to get a little bit more body and a little bit more presence out of that vocal. For one, it's going to be more legible. It's going to be easier to hear and understand. And it'll also fill more space to where you don't have to overcompensate with the other effects as well. I still want the effects because that's the effect you want to have on the song. At the same time, I don't want to have to compensate for trying to fill space that would just be filled if we opened up the vocal a little bit more. On the mud side, between 100 and 300 hertz, it sounds like that's pretty low and pretty thin right there, which is what I was showing on the EQ here. Let me bring this back up for a sec. And I would just, between that range right there, 100 and 300 hertz, just lower it a couple dB. If your vocal feels muddy, lower it a couple dB, but not to the point where it starts to get thin, not to the point where you're losing all of like the clarity of your vocal. So much of like the character of your vocal happens in that low range, and I don't want to thin all of that out. You definitely need more of that low end information. It's going to make your vocal feel so much more prominent. It's going to make it feel so much more full while still having a soft mix with your reverbs and your chorusing and stuff like that. Okay, let's get into the middle of the song here really quick. But again, stylistically, I like a lot of what you're doing. Richard, appreciate you so much, man. I got you. And Whiskey, I got you as well. Antoine, welcome in. Yeah, the chorusing is adding to the perception of sensitivity between those two layers, but the transitions are pretty natural. The transitions are pretty natural in the background there. It's not a very, very fast, but what is happening and what is making it feel like it is occasionally your vocal does correct down. It does correct down to the not. No, it is Tep's just being a troll. It's correcting down. And so what you are hearing the auto-tune affecting the vocal more, pulling it back into key sometimes. That's where I would make sure that you manually correct your vocal before you get to your auto-tune. So believe what you, yeah, I was like, I don't care. So that your vocal, when it does correct, you're not hearing the effect of the autotune as much. You're just getting the note that's there. I use Melodyne for this. You can use Antares graph mode. I've used Melodyne for like 18 years and I love it. It's what I use for manual corrections all the time. That way the note that you're hitting is already placed exactly where you want it to be. And you don't have to worry about autotune shifting anything in the key. Once again, if it's manually placed exactly where you want it to be, you can actually, yeah, graph mode can be cool. Just make sure that what you have on graph mode is the intended note of the song. Because there's a couple notes that they fall off the key right there, or they fall lower in the scale and it's not consistent melody. Make sure those are exactly where you want them to be, so you're not hearing the effect of the autotune dragging it back up into place again. That's where even at a low retune speed, you're going to hear more of that artifact and autotune when it's pulling up a little bit more. Okay, let me get into the outro of the song here. Excuse me. God, Texas allergies. I mean, these harmonies and the vocal layers and stuff right here are absolutely beautiful. Again, there's so many things that I love about this production, love about your songwriting, love about your vocal structure. It's just going to come down to making sure that those elements present themselves in a way in the mix that doesn't feel noisy, doesn't feel busy, doesn't feel too hissy, so on and so on at the top. Because most of this song is just very chill. It's very easy to listen to. You have a great voice. You have great vocal layering and harmonies. Those stacks are awesome. They're positioned well. A lot of it has to do with like the reverb. It has to do with the brightness. It has to do with the thinness and the way that they kind of present themselves in the mix. But the song itself, I think, is really, really nice. Me too, Teb. Really nice vocal structure. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Show some love. Yeah, everything's at the link in my bio. I'm going to probably close the lines here pretty soon because I had got more than I anticipated. I wasn't planning on being live for very long today. So I have time for a good handful of songs left. Just keep in mind, anyone that I end up having to save at the end of the live, I will always add to your song as well. Timmy is a good example of this. Timmy came in like 2 days ago. We didn't get to their song then. They came back in today, and they had 5 more to their submission to get them pushed a little bit farther ahead as well, to help them get played a little bit earlier, hope increase the likelihood of getting played. So just in case you don't get played today or yours has to be saved for another live stream, literally just let me know the next time that we're live, which will be tomorrow. Let me know when you come in, be like, hey, I submitted yesterday. Can I get back on the board? I'll have you submit to the free line, and then I'll boost you for it, just like we did with Timmy today. And they got played today. Man, please show some love. Timmy, I like your style. I like what you're doing. Seriously, you're very talented. Very, very talented. I'm excited to see where this goes. Everybody show some love and support to Timmy Ryan. Facts. Also, the song is released, so go stream it, go like it, go add it to your playlist, so on and so on. Let's keep it rolling. We got Richard Taggart in the building. Richard, let me know where you're at. This one is also released to Spotify. I'm excited to dive into it. All right, let's get into it. The song is submitted. It's terrible quality, but it's the best I can do. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. There's no judgment here. Just practical structural things that we'll dig into. But let's dive in. When are you releasing your piano album? When I have time to release anything, I rarely get a chance at all to work on anything close to my own stuff. Which is a good thing, but I'm so busy right now with work that I do not have a chance to work on my own music sometimes, which is not as fun as I'd like it to be, and just having like the creative space. But I would love to make just a fun little. It'd be fun to make some fun stuff there. Okay, let's get into it. We got Richard in the building. Let me see. What style of music do I prompt? I don't prompt music. Wait, if you're talking to me. Let me produce your next piano album, Torvik. Do it. Just do it. Send it to me, and I'll be like, yeah, dude, send it out. Okay, let's get into it. This is Ain't Doing Well by Richard. Let's pull it up on Spotify. Let's get into it. Richard, I might have dropped it in the chat earlier, but give me all of the details. Talk to me about production. Talk to me about the mix. Talk to me about the role that you play in your music. Oh, promote or promote. Okay, you said prompt. In the world of there being a lot of AI music, I was very curious what you meant by like that. I was like, I don't prompt my music. Is this AI? No, it is not. No, you're totally good. I don't care. I was just curious because it made sense. It's funny because that is it does actually make sense. What style of music do I promote? I'm not a promoter. That's not my job necessarily. What we're doing here in these live streams are consultations. So these are 20 to 30 minute long form detailed consultations, getting into the structure of your mix, production, sound design, lyric structure, song formatting, whatever it may be, to hopefully offer some actionable feedback and offer some in-depth analysis on the structure of what you're doing in your music. But I'm I'm not necessarily promoting. If the algorithm does something fun and y'all get a bunch of eyes and ears on your music, fabulous. I love that. That makes me very, very happy. But my priority is not promotion or giving you exposure or anything like that. Obviously, if a lot of people come in here, you will get exposure, and that's awesome. But that's not necessarily what I do. I don't work as a promoter. I work full time as an audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is the way that or that's what I do for a living. Did you use Smart to calibrate your speakers? No, I did not. I haven't calibrated. I don't mix in the room here. I mix in these headphones, and I just have these calibrated the way that they are. I have some folk house speakers here in the studio, but I just use them for production, so I haven't really worried about calibrating them. I don't really care. To me, it wasn't really worth my time. I'm in a rental right now. We'll be here for a couple years, but and have been here for a year. But I have these the folk house 6.5s in the studio here, and I have the space is treated. Space is treated. I've got a cloud. I've got panels on the wall and whatever. But I just haven't really haven't had to lean into it. I have an AT MX70. Is it good for a mix? I mean, whatever allows you to get the job done is what's good for what you're doing. That's so specific to each individual person. With pink noise and lots of clapping, facts. That's the way to do it. Hold on. These live streams are destroying the environment. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate Torvik as a chatbot. Sorry, I'm trying to get to I do absolutely everything for my music. All right, lyrics, the same, play guitar, and produce. Okay, beautiful. Tools are tools. Tools are tools. That people always ask me, like, is the AT2020 a good mic? I'm like, it's a good mic if you can get a good sound out of it. You know what I mean? Like if you can, is a different mic better? It just depends on your ability to utilize that tool and the space that you're in with the source that you have. I have a lot of different mics that I use for a lot of different reasons, right? Like I have an SM7B that I use for specific reasons. I have SM57s, MD421s, LA120s. I have the MD or the M147 that I use here. Like that, but I use them all for like very specific reasons. And each reason is depending on the source that I'm using. I use a cheap 5-feet mic. Oh yeah, I've seen those. The ones you can get like off TikTok shop, right? And like Amazon. I've seen a lot of people use those. Okay, anyways, ain't doing well. It's Richard right here in the chat. Let's run it. Let's run it. And you're mixing all this yourself, I'm assuming, as well? Nothing wrong with that, Richard. They're cursed. They're cursed, Magic. They are.
My mom called me about a week ago, and we talked on the telephone. We talked a while. She said, son, how you doing? I said, things are good, things are going fine. She could tell that I was lying, and she just said, son, what's the matter? Well, if I'm being honest, I ain't doing well. The world's getting crazy, and life's been giving me hell. The devil sure ain't helping, he's making things worse. Mama, I'm in pain.
Yeah, really clean tracking.
And everything hurts. So if I'm being honest, I ain't doing well.
No problem at all. Nothing wrong with simple. In fact, I don't know that I would change much about the simplicity of this. Maybe just different tracking techniques.
Thinking of what to say to me. I could hear the crack in her voice as she said softly, don't give up now, keep going.
Get a great voice.
On. You gotta keep on fighting strong, even though things are hard right now. Well, if I'm
gonna guess it's
honest, I ain't doing
Taylor
well.
214.
The world's
Random
getting
guess.
crazy, and life's been giving me hell.
It's really bright. That's what I'm
Devil
thinking.
sure ain't helping, he's making things worse.
Wild guess. Those are a little bit. It's not an ovation. I know it's not an ovation because I used to have one. I used to have an ovation, and it has a very distinct sound. They're great.
I ain't doing well.
it kind of sounds like, and again, this doesn't necessarily matter to the breakdown, but it kind of reminds me of a guild that I played one time at Guitar Center. Applause. Okay, cool.
I could hear her voice.
Very cool.
on the
Sounds great.
line.
Honestly,
I
it sounds
could
great.
Hear the tears in her eyes. as She just simply
You can't hear the
said,
tonal
"Son,
differences of an
love you."
ovation, Magic. Let's be honest.
And don't forget the man upstairs who's
That's so funny.
listening and is
Wait, who
always
does?
there just
I've never heard of him.
waiting for you to let him help. Son, if I'm being honest, I pray you're doing
Wait, are you
well.
serious? Is it the ovation applause? That's so funny. That's crazy. That's crazy. Y'all, show some love. Show some love. Show some love. Amazing, amazing. I'm excited to dive into this, man. There's some really, really good songwriting, good structure. I know you could feel some of the limitations of the quality and stuff like that. But honestly, I don't think that you are far off from where you want to be. There's some tracking techniques we can use, some basic mixing and production things that we can do in order to wake this up a little bit. You're doing a fantastic job. A fantastic job. Is it C? Thanks for the follow. I appreciate that so much. Let me see. Yeah, so I didn't realize that it was a dreadnought because I didn't know that they made anything other than like the mid-depth ovations. I didn't know they made anything else. I thought they only made those I didn't know they made like a dreadnought like that. That's cool. That's cool. Well, man, shout out to Magic. Shout out to Magic. Seriously, I don't think that you need to push necessarily to increase. Like I tell people all the time, as much as I like my like nicer synths and like stuff like that, I also have super cheap synths. I have a synth over here I got for free, and it's like broken in the middle octave doesn't work, but it's for a very specific purpose. The acoustic guitar that I've used for a long time is like $180 Gretsch parlor guitar that I use for most of my acoustic recordings. Like I use cheap stuff all the time because it gets the job done. It does what I need it to do, and I will figure out filling in the gaps if I don't have the funds at that time to invest in a higher quality version of that thing that I need. It's so valuable to use what you have, whether it's the 5-fiend mic, whether it's the applause guitar. Like, don't feel a pressure. Thank you for the rose. I appreciate it. Don't feel pressure to upgrade just to upgrade or upgrade because you just like kind of know in your head that it's worse quality than what other people will perceive as higher quality, so on and so on. Here's the thing that I always tell people is use what you use as long as you can, and then if you just have money to throw around, great, and you can just upgrade and get fun stuff, that's awesome. But if you don't, like most people do, if you don't, then use what you use until you reach a pain point in your ability to make it sound good, and then from there you can always upgrade, right? So like for me, when I first started up, because I didn't have 13 synths and a bunch of guitars and drums and stuff like that, for the vast majority of my career as an engineer or producer. But when I started to just upgrade stuff, it was strictly because I had reached like a pain point of like, this certain tool right now is not giving me the sound that I want, right? I've told the example before, but like there was a time where an artist wanted to pay me to track, like they wanted like a bluesy hollow body guitar sound, and all I had was my Stratocaster and my Schecter. And I was like, okay, well, I don't have that sound, but they're going to pay me a couple $100s for some session work. And then another artist reached out and they said, well, I also would like I would like kind of like a hollow body Vox Gretsch tone or whatever, and I didn't have it. So I went and spent like $1,000 on a Gretsch because I already had two things lined up. I had a pain point where I was like, I don't have what I need to branch out and do more of these other sessions for more artists, and this guitar is going to pay for itself in a week. And so I bought the guitar because I'd reached a pain point in my tools where I didn't have what I needed to execute for these clients. And I think that's the only time that you need to start executing, improving your gear. It's like when you feel like you personally have like surpassed your limits of making what you have sound good, or your ability to get a good quality sound out of what you're doing, then it might be time to upgrade something. But I don't want you to worry about it. I've been releasing songs for like 8 years. My sound has definitely improved over time. I love that, man. I love it. Okay, let's get into it. This is from last year as well. Let's dive in, man. Let's run it from the top, and let's do you think plugins and stuff this day, Waves Audio, still need to use analog hardware. I think you use whatever makes you good at what you do. I tell people all the time, one of the reasons why I have these synths, I have a whole bunch of synths in here. One of the reasons why I have these synths is not because, not strictly, I do think they do, but it's not strictly because that synth sounds better than another, right? It's not because like this Juno sounds completely different than the plugin does. What I tell people is I sound better playing this than I do automating and clicking and dragging this filter over here and over here. I am more creative, I am more inspired, and I sound better playing the Juno 106 than I do pulling up the plugin. I have like two different Juno 106 or Juno 60 plugins that I use all the time. If I need the immediate recall, if I need something particular to that or a preset that I already have on there, then I can recall that really quickly. I don't think you need analog gear. I don't think you need all of the plugins, but I do think that it comes down to what inspires you and what makes you good at what you do, right? Like some people just would rather program. Some people would rather just pay someone else to do it. You only need an MPC, that's facts. Completely in the box. But I think I make better, like one of the biggest, parts of my session business is playing synths. That's why I have them. I've been playing keys since I was 6 years old. One of the reasons why I have these and the reason why I like the Poly D and the Juno and the DX7 back there and stuff like that and more, to come. The reason why is because I am better and I sound better and I make cooler, more creative decisions playing that than I do if I'm just on a MIDI controller or just trying to drag in MIDI or just trying to put things in. Let's be honest, if I could, I'd play this 100%. Exactly. That's the thing. And I think that's the honest conversation for most people. It's not necessarily just about the price, because let's be honest, man, I spend probably $5,000 a year on plugins or something like that. I don't know, a lot. I mean, it's a lot. Just in stuff that I use for my music business, it's at least a couple $1,000s a year. Just in plugins and stuff like that. It's not like plugins are really cheap. Plugins are not that cheap. I think it really just comes down to like your ability to execute. It's not that analog is always better than digital, or there's sometimes that digital is better. Digital is better than analog in some ways, of having the clarity, the transparency that you want, having the immediate recall, the ability to save presets. That is different, right? There's no presets on the Poly D, right? There's presets on the Juno, there's presets on the DX7 and stuff like that. But for me, it just really comes down to what makes you sound good. And also, what do you want? I like synths. Synths are fun for me. It's one of the hobbies. One of the first instrument I ever bought for myself was a synth. It was an old microKORG I got like 20 years ago. So anyways, all of that aside, would an audio interface and mixer to plug in my mic and make the quality better? It would. So like what I would recommend probably for you, Richard, if you're just doing a USB mic right now, all you need is an interface and a large diaphragm condenser. That's all you need. I don't think it is necessary for you to get that, especially at this stage. But I can tell you what I would recommend. If you want to go as cheap as possible, I would probably go, and I've used all of these and I've had all of these. I would go with a Universal Audio Volt, maybe a 2 if you want to track guitar and do vocals at the same time. A Volt 2 would probably be beneficial. It's going to be like $160. $160. And that's a 2-channel USB-C audio interface. You can plug straight into your computer. And actually you could plug it into an iPad or a phone if you wanted to as well. And it would be an interface for that. That will allow you to plug in instruments and microphones. So if you want to mic your guitar, or you would like to just plug in a guitar directly or whatever it may be, use an electric, a synth, or whatever. And then as far as a microphone goes, look into the Lewitt LCT 240 Pro. You can find those used for like $80. New, they're like 120 now, I think, with inflation or with whatever the tariffs and shit. But they're about 120 now, I'm pretty sure. But that's like a solid, great quality, low noise, great preamps, good interface, for $280 or something close to it, or maybe even a little bit less. They do a great job. And I've had them both. I still have a Volt, actually. It's in storage. When I'm on the road, like in the studio here, I use an AudioFuse 16 rig from Arturia. That's the hub of the studio. When I'm on the go, I use a Volt 4. I still use it. So like if I'm doing mobile work, or I need to do some productions on the go and I just need to have something I can plug some synths into when I'm traveling, I use the Volt 4 in my mobile studio rig. And it's fantastic. I used to have a Volt 2, the one I'm recommending. I've had a Volt 4. I've had so many different interfaces. And I think that would help you out a lot. I ran a simple 2-channel M audio for 2 years, recorded at least 3 or 4 albums with it. Now I use a Zoom L12 because I use it live as well. Yeah, the multi-tracking for the Zooms are great. Multi-tracking is great. Okay, let's run it from the top. Let's dive into a couple details here. I feel like I'm taking forever today, so I'm going to try to move a little bit quicker here. Mode 2 is great for the
Mom
price.
called me about a week ago, and we talked on the telephone. We talked a while. She said, "Son, how you doing?"
I mean, great voice, great performance. You can feel the emotion in it. The core things here are really, really nice to listen to. I really wouldn't be too worried about your quality. I say this all the time. The mix and the quality on that side is like number 5 on the list of things that matter. You know what I mean? Like a good song, something that people engage with, something that people connect with emotionally matters so much more, so much more than your mix and master and your luffs and whatever and stuff like that. A good song, like you could post the song and even without a great mix and you thinking it sounds terrible, could go viral on TikTok and you could be getting 1 million streams a month on a song like this and making an extra $4,000. Like you never know. You never know. You never know. You don't have to have a huge production structure here. I do think the better quality of the source, the easier it is to probably reach that, to reach that connection. But I think you're doing it. You're doing a fantastic job. I record my guitar and vocals all together. That's where you're going to want to do the Volt 2, because then you can record your vocal mic and then like plug in your guitar direct into another channel or however you want to track that and make it really, really clean.
I said, "Things are good, things are going fine." She could tell that I was lying, and she just said, "Son, what's the matter?"
I actually really like the processing on your vocals. This is like what we were talking about earlier, where your vocal is fairly, because this is a close, intimate, emotional song. I don't need your vocal set into space with a huge hall reverb. I really like this. This is a great example of mixing to the track. This is Richard. Taggart. They're over on TikTok Nova. That like you've done a great job of mixing to, even if it needs some polish, of mixing to the song and mixing in a way that feels really cohesive with the message of the song and the way that you're playing, so on and so on. There's 2 things in the EQ. You can make some small adjustments here. You're missing a little bit of low end information in that vocal, and it's also a little bit like mid forward where you're getting some ringing in the vocal around like 2,000 hertz. So around 2,000 hertz or so, there's a little bit of kind of agitation right there. I would just bring that down softly. So find where it's kind of ringing and it feels a little bit harsh right there. If you notch it up a bit and then drop it down just like 2 or 3 dB barely, right? Find where some of that harshness is, notch it down about 2 or 3 dB to help suppress some of that. And then between 100 and 300 hertz, where you've pulled maybe some information out, you've reduced some of the low end right there. Bring it back into play just a hair. We're missing a little bit of like, especially because this is a very dry song, right? It's just your vocal and the acoustic, nothing else going on. You want to make sure that feels so a bit more open. It feels like there's a bit more energy to it. So the song itself doesn't sound thin or doesn't sound like it's missing some power and some energy there. Hilda, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Been trying to fix it. Yeah, I got you. And so if you feel like the vocal's a little bit thin, that 100 to 300 hertz range, that's where a lot of that energy lies. 100 to 400, 100 to 300. That range right there is where a lot of that low-end mud and boominess lies. So if you pull that out, obviously it makes it really thin. Like on my voice, I'll show you like I did earlier. If I pull that, this is the exact range I'm talking about. I pull it out, my vocal's super thin and tinny, and it sounds like nothing. If I boost it, it's boomy and muddy and nasty, and nobody likes that, right? I'm literally just affecting 100 to 300 hertz. Now, if I bring this under control, 2.5 dB, now the vocal it still has some weight to it. There's still a little bit of low end information there, but it's not thin anymore. It has a good amount of body to it, especially with like a country vocal or even like a folk vocal where you're going to dip into a lower register and you want some like weight. You want to feel it, kind of want it to hit you in the chest a little bit when you're singing. You want to make sure there's a fair amount of low end information there, because if you thin it out, you lose a lot of like the natural like life and energy, gravitas. Exactly. You miss a little bit of that connection right there because there's no energy to kind of support it. Same thing on the acoustic side. We'll talk about that a little bit here too. But I think your songwriting is great. I think your structure is really nice as well. I just want to get a little bit more life in your current mix. And of course, if you can upgrade over time, cool, awesome. Not necessary, but always good, always good. Do you mix in mono first? No, I do not. I do a dry mix.
Well, if I'm being honest,
Of course, I'm locked in.
Well, the world's getting crazy, and life's been giving me hell.
That's good.
The devil sure ain't helping. He's making things worse. Mama, I'm in pain.
I do check phase in mono
Everything
occasionally, but I don't like start a mix in mono.
So if I'm being honest, I ain't doing well.
Same thing with the acoustic here. I would love to bring in a little bit more just low end information here. Warm up that like under 1,000 hertz, bring in a little bit more energy, a little bit more vibrancy to the low end of the mix right there. That's where we're missing, I think, just some of the emotional aspects of the song, which are obviously there on the lyric side, are obviously there in your performance. I think it's very, very raw. It feels very emotional, and I really, really appreciate what you're doing. The mix, I just want to make sure it's pointed in the same direction as that as well. I'm going to push the song a little bit forward here. We'll get towards the end here, but that's the thing. I mean, you only have 2 elements here to mix. And I don't mind if you stay that way for a long time. I don't think you need a full production. I don't think you need to feel like you need to overproduce your song. I like a drier vocal and acoustic here, but if you're going to go drier and simpler, you need to make sure that each of these elements have weight and that they can kind of support themselves in the mix. But I think from a structural standpoint, I think you're doing a great job. And I think this song, believe it or not, like even like with our own insecurities that we put on ourselves, I think this song could still do phenomenally well for you just with the right push, the right content, the right whatever, the right exposure. Like this song doesn't need a perfect mix for it to take off. Magic, don't you dare. All right, let's get it. What audio myth annoys you the most? Geez, where do I get started? Like, just all of them. I kind of hate the audio industry. I hate the music industry.
I could hear her voice.
It's like most of it's a bunch of bullshit.
Hear the tears in her eyes as she just simply said, "Son, I love you."
It's
Don't
simple. It's
forget
good.
The man upstairs who's listening and is always there, just
Great voice,
waiting
man. Really.
for you to let him help. Son, if I'm being honest, I pray you're doing well.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Man, please show some love to Richard. Richard, you're 100% on the, you said you've been making music or at least releasing music for the last 8 years or so. You're 100% on the right track. I don't feel like you have any reason to feel insecure about what you're doing or feel like it's terrible quality or anything like that. It doesn't have to be overproduced. It doesn't have to be overproduced in any way. I think give each of these elements in your track a little bit more life and a little bit more presence, especially in the mids and the lows, just to allow the song to bloom a little bit more and have a bit more energy. And you're going to be already on the right track. And then, like I said, and we were talking about earlier, if you were able to upgrade in the future, awesome. I mean, I didn't upgrade for years. I had terrible early interfaces. I mean, some of for like the old Inbox Mini I had, that old, I had a Behringer. It was like a single channel Behringer I got for $40. I had this MXL 770 that was so distorted. Like, I think I bought it with a broken diaphragm. It was like hissy and distorting the whole time. Like, a lot of my early stuff that I just started working with was terrible. Like, it was not good stuff. The preamps on that Behringer were terrible. They were so noisy. I had to gate everything to all hell. It was terrible. So, I mean, you're doing an amazing job using what you have at your disposal. And you're doing an amazing job executing with what you have. And so, yeah, if you reach a pain point, you're like, hey, this month I'm gonna get the interface, and I'll keep using my mic. I'll keep using the mic, but I'll get a good interface for cleaner preamps and more power behind the vocal. And then, on the other side, you're like maybe another month later or 2 months later, like, okay, I'll drop $80 on the microphone. I'll get an AT2020. I'll get an LCT 240, and I'll upgrade that side. And then you just start going from there. But it's just little investments here and there. They stack up. And before you know it, you've got synths you don't need, and it's fun, and you're having a great time. Pawn shops are where it's at for use here. Facts. I don't think I've bought a single thing. Cameron, thanks for the follow. New. I mean, I have a couple things. That's a complete lie. The vast majority of what I have here in the studio was like bartered for, sold, traded, flipped, fixed, like whatever. Like this microphone, it's a $3,600 microphone, and I got this in a trade for like a set of speakers and like another old synth that I had that I had fixed up and I wasn't using anymore. I so many things in here. I mean, this bass amp over here, it's a $2,000 bass rig. $2,000 bass rig I got from free. I just ended up doing some work for some guy. He's like, hey, I just need you to help me clean up some stuff in my studio and get rid of some things. I got that for free. I just traded. I was also given a couple years ago, I was given an old Fender amp. It was a nice one, but I was given this amp, and so but it had some issues. So I fixed it up, replaced the tubes, and I flipped that for the special edition AC15 that I have now. Like everything. And yeah, we don't talk about what I did for the Poly D. TikTok has its limitations, but like so many, I mean, I've thousands of dollars worth of stuff in here that I've like gotten for free, or I've traded for, I've bartered for, I've flipped for stuff, you know what I mean? Or fixed things up and then sold it. Like a guy sold me one synth, it was a DX21, and I bought that synth, and he had 3 other broken synths there. 3 other broken synths, and he's like, hey, these are just sitting in the garage and they're all broken. Do you want them? And I was like, yes, I'll take them. So I traded him. I bought the DX21. Actually, I got that for free because I traded it for some old broken speakers I had that needed the tweeters replaced. I traded those, got the DX21, which wasn't worth much. Got 3 other synths for free. I fixed up all 3 of those synths, traded one of them for like, I think the Focal monitors that I have in here, and then sold the other 2 for a profit and got, I don't know, some other stuff here in the studio. Actually, I think that's when I bought the Juno, actually. Because one of them was another old Juno DI that I fixed up. Anyways, all of that to say that like it's not like I'm just dropping cash on shit in here in the studio all the time. I'm constantly just like, if there's something that I want, I'm going to find a way to get it. I'm going to find a way through my work, through bartering, through trading, through selling things that I have here, to get what I need. And so I would encourage y'all to do the same. Like literally, like take some old clothes. If you're like, man, I can't afford $100 mic for $100 mic right now. It's just not something I have the capacity for. Go through your closet, go through your shoes, go through your old clothes, and go to like an Uptown cheapskate. Go to a Plato's Closet or whatever, and sell your clothes and try to get $100 from there. You know what I mean? Like find a way to get it. If you want to upgrade, if you want to change your quality and stuff like that, there's ways to do it. There's definitely ways to do it. What are the hertz for the high and low you suggested? Let me see. So 100 and 300 hertz. Between 100 and 300 hertz is the low end that you need to push a little bit there. On the vocal side, it's 2000 around. You're gonna have to kind of find it and search kind of where that sits, but around 2000 hertz is where some of that ringing is happening, and it's kind of where some of that mid forwardness is happening in the vocal. But y'all show some love one more time to Richard. The song is out. If you like what you hear, go stream it, go like it, go add it to your playlist, go show them some love and support. I appreciate what you do so much, man. Appreciate what you do so much. Let's keep it rolling. We got Whiskey Jenkins in the building. Let me refresh here, and I'm going to go ahead and close the line here officially. I'm definitely gonna have to change or save a good amount of songs today. I'm gonna try to get through more, but I'm taking a long time. We got Whiskey Jenkins in the building. Whiskey, hop in the chat. Let me know that you're here. We got the 6th string. Crazy song I wrote about a recurring dream about the evil record producers in Nashville trying to buy your soul. Damn. The dream is about me driving down a highway made of guitar strings and an old school black Cadillac, driving through the fiery gates, opening up to Nashville reproducers. Damn. All right, let's go. Let's go. Of course, man. Of course. Life moves slow on the raft. That's true. Man, there's some poetry in there. So if you, I'm not even joking, Sundry. If you want this, you can probably, no, Whiskey, I'm playing you right now. You can I mean, you have to pay me for it. It's not free. But I have another Poly D coming in. So I have a brand new Poly D coming in the mail in the next week or two. I need to fix one of the circuits on here. But once I fix it, I'm going to get rid of it. So if any of y'all are looking for a Poly D, because they don't sell them anymore, or they're all out of stock, generally speaking, or very, very rarely in stock, I will be selling it for a discount. What I'm probably going to end up doing is bypassing the distortion. So if you don't care about the distortion circuit on there, which not many people are using it for that, I'm going to bypass the distortion. I'm just going to jump. I'm going to jump it. And then I'm going to sell it for a discount. So anyways, I already have a new one coming in very, very soon. Would love a Model D, but facts, same Model D, like a used reissue Model D is like $3,500 or something, like $3,800 or something like that. They're ridiculous. I would love to get a Model D. I would love nothing more, but it checks a lot of the boxes. The only thing I don't like, it does have an extra oscillator. It does have the sequencer and the chorus, kind of Juno style chorus circuitry. It's fantastic. And a great key bed. Love the key bed, to be honest. The thing that I don't like is you are forced retrigger. So it's a forced retrigger. You can't move legato. That's the only thing. The thing that I love about the Mini Moog is the ability to play legato and get these really smooth rolling bass lines that are just so beautiful and nuanced. You don't get that on here. It's a retriggering of the envelope every single time. So that's the only thing I don't like about it as much as some other mono synths. So yeah. Anyways. Side note there. Line is closed officially, y'all. Line is closed officially. If you are in line, so if you are in either one of the lines, actually, if you are in line, you can still skip. You can still go faster. You can still move yourself if you would like to. But for new submissions, the line is closed. I will be, I appreciate you tapping in. Thanks for being here. I will be live again tomorrow, hopefully for a long time as well. I will be live again tomorrow, so I will try to get through as many songs tomorrow as I possibly can as well. All right, Whiskey's in the building. Whiskey, give me all the details. Give me all the details. I know this is a song you wrote, but talk me through all of the role that you play in your music. Talk to me about the way that this was produced, the way that it was mixed. I want details. I want context. But let's dive in. I'm pulling it up on Spotify right now. Got you. So you outsourced the mix, but you did most of the vocals and guitar. Okay, cool. Good lead line, though. It's a good top. Yeah, I got you.
I seen a man in a black trench coat. He showed me things that I liked. Here's the keys to the car outside, and there's a 6-3 inside.
Good voice.
He said he liked all the songs I wrote, but do you wanna survive? Just sell your soul and I'll give you
it's got a good weight to it.
And you can keep your pride. The devil comes, the devil sees, the devil knows who he likes. He said, lust is power when you feel it greed, and this is how I survive.
Hell yeah.
The 7 sins are on a TV show, and everyone is inside. Everything I feel, it seems right. The words, it all just a fry. I got the top down to the devil's car, riding 6 strings deep through the gates of hell. I got the pedal to the metal, ain't no
Nice.
priest inside. I got a golf out bride in the passenger side. I drive 1,000 miles an hour straight through hell. I got the hellhounds running just to clear the way for me. I said,
Whiskey Jenkins is a great artist name, too.
he says your soul is
That's a great artist name. I can see the show.
And your voice is divine. Show 'em what you got, teach 'em what
That's your name? That's sick. That's a sick name. I love it. You're made to be an artist, man. Come on. Yeah, that's fire. Thank you for the rose, Andrew. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm running out the road and the gates are near. My six string singing all the notes I feared. The devil's in my head, he ain't letting go. He's stealing my time to the life that I live.
How'd you record vocals? Show some love, y'all. Give it up on time for Whiskey Jenkins right here. Done in the studio. Okay, cool. Show some love to Whiskey Jenkins. Let's run it from the top. Let's get into the details here. We're gonna move at a better pace now. I will do my best. We'll move at a better pace so I can get to a bit more of the music today. That is called The Sixth String by Whiskey Jenkins. Let me double check something real quick here. Okay, you do have this updated here. I was just making sure that your profile was claimed on here as well. Yeah, you've got a cool sound. I will say... Okay, that is the artist page. Okay, perfect. Just double checking a few things here. But show some love to Whiskey. The song that you just heard is out. If you like it, go stream it, go like it, go add it to your playlist. Go follow on Spotify. Go boost their algorithm. Show them some love and support. KH, we are closed for today, but we are going to be live again tomorrow afternoon. So if anybody would like to submit your music on any of the platforms that we're live on right now, just make sure that you're followed and subscribed where it makes sense. And we'll open up the line to some brand new songs tomorrow, especially if we have some that we're saving from today as well. You're good, Magic. I appreciate you so much, man. Thanks for tapping in today. But let's run it from the top. Yeah, we'll talk about, there are some mixing things here that I think definitely need some addressing. Now, they might be good. So there's some great musicianship happening here. I think there's just a bias in quality towards the musicianship and towards the production that I don't know if is as present on the mixing side and the mastering side. It's a little jumbled on the mixing side, and there's some other things we'll talk in depth about to kind of show you exactly what we're talking about. That I would love a better balance on, better clarity, better separation on. But the production itself is good. So good guitar playing, solid drum pocket, good vocal performance, in the studio. There's a lot of these other things that I think have, that have done well as far as building up the song structure. But on the mixing side, there's some details that I'm like, I wouldn't mind if this person maybe just did the production and just did session work, session musician work. And then maybe it was sent to someone else. Maybe sent to someone else on the mixing side to actually balance and do the whole mixing and mastering side. That's my gut reaction, and we can talk about some of the details why. And maybe it's worth another shot. Maybe they have some other records that are maybe mixed a little bit better. But there are definitely some things to me that are more staple elements of the vocal mix that I wouldn't necessarily think to have in there if it's a really good professional, Nashville country mix, country rock mix. MTB, welcome in. Good to see you. Appreciate you tapping in. So let's run it from the top. We'll talk about some of those details in depth so you can kind of train your ears for them as well. And I can maybe even affirm some of the things that you are already hearing, and we'll kind of get into it. But let's run it from the top. Sixth String by Whiskey Jenkins. Definitely go show some love and support on DSPs. Follow here on platforms, so on and so on. Welcome in. Even small, I'm going to talk about some small details, but even right off the bat right here in the intro, the mix feels a bit suppressed. It feels a little bit held back. I would love for that guitar to be front and center. That's your top line. That's your lead right here. Even with the volume all the way up right here, it doesn't really jump out of the mix. It feels really far back for it being a good, like clean lead Telecaster, line at the front here. It feels a little restrained for me. I would love for that to have like better clarity and separation where it really does cut through the mix. Everything else feels wide and surrounds it. And the guitar really jumps through the mix. It feels a little far back for me for it being like your first lead element here. Not a bad sounding guitar in any way though. Nice bass.
I seen a man in a black trench coat. He showed me things that I liked. Well, here's the key.
Okay, let's talk vocals really quick, and then we'll talk. I think mainly percussion on the chorus when we get there. On the vocal side here, I think you have a great performance on your vocal. I think it's very in line with the genre. I think you've executed well. I'm not mad. I think you really do have a good performance on your vocal here. The thing on your vocal is for the kind of texture that you have in your vocal, there's really not a lot of weight to it at all. AJ, welcome in. There's not a lot of weight to it. There's not a lot of body to it. It's very, very bright at the top end. So you get this like hiss at the top of the mix. So 10, 12K at the top is cranked right now. So it's really, really bright over the top. And then there's not a lot of weight underneath it to kind of support that much of a push. Now, there are some good things. There's some nice, little slap delays in there that I think are beautiful. Those work really well in this genre. I think those are executed well on the mixing side. But the vocal, it needs some oomph. It does. It needs some oomph. Similar, honestly, to the last vocal that we were just listening to, where in the range of like 100 to 600 hertz, a little bit broader here for your vocal. I would love just a little bit more energy there, a little bit more weight to where it doesn't feel like, especially in a song where you want a powerful vocal. It is a powerful vocal, where you want a little bit more energy, that it doesn't ever feel thin and brittle at the top end. Right now, there's like a bias this way where it's like really bright, it's really bright over here and thinned out down here. And I want to kind of rebalance that a little bit. Bring down some of the brittleness of the vocal at the top end so it's not so harsh, and regain a little bit of body in the low mids of the vocal so it feels fuller, feels more vibrant. Because here's my intuition based on when we get into the hook. The hook gets really busy, right? There's 3 or 4 layers of guitars. We have the acoustics, we have the electrics, bass, we got a full mic drum set, so on and so on. We have all of this energy here. So my intuition tells me that the mix was so kind of busy and it got a little bit muddy on the hook, on the production side. Finding out, 100%. And again, keep in mind, if they're good musicians, it can also, if they're good musicians, they could also just do the production and send it to someone else for the mix, so on and so on. He also keeps the mic like 4 feet away from. I want to hear the next part, and then I'll give talk about this next little section here really quick. But I want to see what you're saying. Four feet away from your mouth. I wouldn't do that. Now, if I were recording gang vocals, I would. So like if I'm recording stacks and gang vocals, and sometimes I'll literally just like set up this mic and I'll just walk to different parts of the room and record with like different movements there. I wouldn't have you farther than like 18 inches. Like the farthest I would have you was like here. And the reason why is what you just heard, right? If I step back here, listen to how thin the vocal sounds compared to up here, right? You get closer, that proximity effect is going to increase the low end energy on the microphone. So the exact thing that we're talking about is that your vocal sounds like it's kind of indirect. It sounds a little thin. It doesn't have the power that we want to it. The reason why is because your vocal's back here, and no matter how much I crank the gain, there's no way. For low country singers, seems like it should be closer. 100% it should be closer. In fact, I'd probably have it closer than 18. I'd probably have it like 10 inches away from the microphone. Like you want the tonal, not my voice obviously, but the tonal qualities. What's up, Deshi? The tonal qualities of my vocal here is more what you want, right? Where it's like it's a little punchy, right? It's got some weight to it, especially if you're gonna like talk in a lower voice or sing in a lower voice. You want some of that weight. You want it to be like supported in the mix. So, I would not be 4 feet away. There's no reason I would ever record anyone 4 feet from a microphone unless it's a gang vocal, unless it is a stack that is I'm trying to get the room, or if I'm miking the drums in the room or something like that. I would not record that far away. First single, this is my first studio. Thank you, dude. Of course, I got you. Seriously, I worked in studio, so I know. Now this is my personal studio now. That I just run myself. But that's where I got my start in audio engineering. I did a 2.5-year private mentorship in studio training in live sound audio engineering. We brought in bands. I was running. We're miking up country groups and rock groups and stuff like that. That's the foundation of my training in audio engineering, was doing stuff like that. So if you have questions or something doesn't feel right, dude, let me know. Ask away in the chat. That's how I got my start. So with stuff like this, I ain't gonna lie, but this Vintech 73, it's working, Deshi. I know some people that have the Vintech, they love it. I have a 1073 coming hopefully in the next week or two. I'm excited. I've used tons of 1073s, but I got to get one in the studio now. So I'm excited. Yeah, and that's the thing. Engineering can be an expensive trial and error. It really can. It can be a very expensive trial and error because it's not just the skills that they have. It's also the relationship. It's their ability to communicate. It's so many different nuanced things that are happening all at the same time. Where if they're just not listening, if they're just not good at the client relationship, that can be really, really frustrating to deal with. So that can be really frustrating. So for your vocal, you should probably be 10 inches from the microphone, and that's it. I wouldn't go any farther back than that. I would also, for your voice, depending on where you're going, I don't know what you used on this record necessarily. Obviously, it doesn't seem like they weren't bad. They're good musicians. Obviously, this is not in any way a terrible sounding record. I don't want to like hammer on some things and be like, oh, this is all terrible. It doesn't sound bad, right? But there's definitely things that I wouldn't expect of like a real professional studio. I would look for a good large diaphragm condenser microphone as well in your next studio as well. You would do great. with a good large diaphragm condenser. It will just or a tube large not just a large diaphragm condenser, but a tube large diaphragm condenser. You're going to get this beautiful saturation. It's going to be bright at the top end without you having to then brighten it. It's one of the things that I love about using a good tube microphone, and there's a ton of examples out there. But you're going to get this beautiful shimmer at the top of the mix, so they don't go into the EQ like they did here and crank the top end to like over exaggerate it again. So if you call around to some studios, Timmy's getting my vocals to sound how I like it now from self-mixing. Dude, facts, 100%. You need my Stam Audio 67 with a Heisman capsule. It's the country mic of your dreams. I mean, the 67 is a beast. If they came down in price, if I could find a used one, I would maybe pull the trigger on it. Or that was a good price, but right now you can't really find them for less than much. The Stams are obviously a lot cheaper. The Stams are a lot cheaper, but they are fantastic. I haven't used the 67 Stam, but I have used one other Stam microphone. I think it was an 87 emulation. And it was good. It did a good job. But the point being, if you're going to be recording in studio, Universal Audio Sphere DLX here at home, and it's awesome. Yeah. I mean, again, a halfway decent mic. In the right hands is gonna sound awesome. Yeah, that's the only one of Stams that I've tried. But if you're gonna be calling studios to track in studio whiskey, just ask them what mics they have, and try to see if you can get someone who has a good quality tube condenser. It will make a difference. It will make a difference. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. It will just the amount of, because what has happened in this recording that we're hearing here is a lot of post. They took whatever recording was there, probably a fine recording. They took the recording that was there and they over-brightened, over-compressed. They overdid all of these things in order to kind of force it over the top of the mix. Good chain leading up to the DAW. You won't have to do any of that. Or you can do it so tastefully. Your quality is going to be clean and clear and forward. And that vocal will feel like it's in front of the mix. It'll be center stage as opposed to now it's fighting to get over the top. So what's happened, like I was mentioning before I lose track, the middle of the mix gets kind of busy. It gets a little bit noisy, especially on the hook, where there's more elements and more guitars, more drums, everything. It gets a little busy, it gets a little muddy in there in the middle of the mix. So I think what happened is because the producer mixed the production a little bit muddy with with the guitars and the drums. The only option they really had was to kind of force the vocal over the top by brightening it. So instead of just rebalancing the vocal, compressing well and pushing it forward and clarifying the middle of the mix, they just brightened the top of the mix a whole bunch to kind of force it over the top. So what happens is your vocal's kind of harsh and brittle while still feeling back in the mix. So two things are kind of happening at the same time that makes the vocal feel limited and also not the most flattering. And so what I would love is for your vocal to feel warmer, for it to be saturated, for it to be compressed well, and feel forward in the mix. And that's the opposite of a little bit of what we're hearing here. So that's I think for me, that's like the overarching point is there's some great musicianship here. There's some great writing and there's some great structure, not presented in the way that I think is the most flattering for your voice and also that showcases the musician as much as they probably would like as well. I don't think the mix on the guitar actually showcases the tone of the guitar as well as it probably could have, because they actually are really, really well done. Or do you remote recording and mixing? Yeah, I do. I don't do a ton of remote recording. I tried it and I canceled the service because it was just buggy and I didn't love it. I did it with a couple clients, and the clients that I in particular did it with, it was a very frustrating experience for both of us. They were very it was a challenge. I'm just gonna say that it was a challenge. But I do completely remote mixing. That's what I do for a living. That's the vast majority of what I do. That's everything I do here in the studio is just people send me their files. I have them track everything out. Send me a zip. Send me a zip and send it over here. Torvik sounds Australia. No, it doesn't. Torvik is Norwegian as hell. Torvik is Norwegian as hell. It's literally named after. It's literally a region in Norway. It's the Torvik fjords. Turn the hi-hat down. Yeah, so high end wave files. Yep, exactly. Yeah, 100%, without a doubt. If you have the are you talking about just the end? Rabbi Torvik's crazy. That's crazy. No, Torvik is Norwegian as hell. Are you talking about just the master file or the individual track outs again? Let me know. Let me get a little bit. I'm going to skip forward into the guitar solo here really quick. I do have a lot, and there's like 3 more coming. ASAP. There's more on the way. In like another week or two, there'll be 3 more synths in here. Music women love watching you walk. Oh, they run when they see me walk in. Master file's all I have, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a lot that you can do just off the master file now, just because a lot of what we're talking about are in relation to other things, right? So the middle of the mix that's muddy is also where your vocal sits. And so there's nothing, because since they're all sitting right here in front of each other, there's nothing I can do within that master file to re-clarify and separate those two things right there. Same with even like processing mid-side to get those guitars kind of out of the way a little bit. All that stuff I would need, at least the stems, if not the multi-track, I'd need at least like the guitar stems or the drum stems or the vocal stems individually to be able to separate those out. So unfortunately, there's some small little EQ curves and there's some small things I could do to maybe polish it a little bit more. But overall, based on what is here and where the pain points lie, to be honest, there's not a lot that I could do with the master file to correct the things that I'm specifically talking about. Just because anything that I do to like correct that brightness in the vocal is also going to take that brightness out of the guitars, out of the drums, out of everything that's right there. So unfortunately, it's not necessarily something that you would be able to do. Are you a left-handed drummer but play right? Yes. How did you know? Or did you see a video of me playing? But yeah, I am left-handed. But I play a right-handed kit. In fact, I have a new drum set coming in this week too. Hopefully, if I can get it ordered tonight. What's your opinion on like Eazy-E, like NWA 80s Gangster? It's fun. Yeah, I like it. I don't listen to it a ton, but yeah, I like it. Okay, let's get into it. It's a satin flame Gretsch. It's like the vintage cover Gretsch. It's a Gretsch Catalina with the vintage white satin flame finish. It's gorgeous. With a set of some Ks, I think it's K Sweets cymbals that are coming in. I sold some of my other cymbals that I had that were kind of a disjointed set. So yeah, it's K Sweets coming in, and then it's a nice white satin flame. It's gorgeous. Such a beautiful kit. All right, let's get a little deeper here.
And your voice is slow.
But here's what I want to say, though. Drummer just got a sick Gretsch kit. Dude, I love him. I love Gretsch. I have a couple, like, now I feel like I'm becoming a Gretsch guy. Back in the day, Torvik literally sounds like the name of a Norse god, Fax Nova. Fax. Yeah, it's about as Torvik is. I mean, my grandfather's name was Olaf. It's about as Norwegian as it gets. But anyways, I love Gretsch, and I've had the DW Collectors is another love. So beautiful. It's beautiful. That's the way to go. That's another tier. That's another tier above. If I was getting like a USA custom, Gretsch would be more on par. Catalinas are a little bit cheaper, but they still sound fantastic. But I love Gretsch. So I have a Gretsch center block that I use for like a lot of my hollow body stuff. And then I have a Gretsch parlor guitar that I use for like a lot of my acoustic stuff, and then I'll have a Gretsch kit. I used to have a Duo Jet, like a 58 style Duo Jet that I got rid of years ago. Just actually gave it to a buddy of mine. We were both kind of using it a lot, and so I gave it to him. You know, he ended up just using it more at the time. This was a while ago. I would love to get a Duo Jet again. I love the Duo Jet or a Penguin. The Cadillac Green Penguin is one of the most beautiful guitars in the world. It's so nice. Do you watch soccer at all? Yeah. I do. Not like I mean, I'm watching the Cup. I've been watching everything with the Cup. Go Norway. Howland in the building. I want to buy a little club kit and drum prices. You know, dude, drum prices are insane. Like even just the shells, no snare, just the shells are like $800 just for the Gretsch kit. It's like $800 literally just for the toms and the kick, nothing else to it. I'm like, okay, well, I got to spend another $400 on hardware. I got to spend, I already have a snare. I have a nice like 8.5 inch snare back there, but so I already have a snare that I'll use, but I've got to spend $400 on hardware. I've got to, now I've got to spend another, $1,200 on cymbals. It's insane. Drum prices cymbals went nuts. I remember you used to be able to buy like, some A customs or like a K Dark series for like a set for like $700-800, or, even like I've used some like Byzance and stuff like that. Like, I used to be able to use like some of the Mino Byzances, and you could buy them, $250 a cymbal, $300 a cymbal, so on and so on. And now it's like a single like Byzance dry or something like that, or like a Byzance traditional medium or something like that. It's like $600 for a ride. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what are you supposed to do? It's insane. I'm in Canada, so when you say, so is Tep's in Canada too. So when you say 1K, it's like 1,500. That's brutal. That's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. The barrier is so high now. Is it now? Thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. Chris we got Canada in the building. Shout out to Canada. It's link in bio. We're closed for today, but I'll be live again tomorrow. So just make sure y'all are following. We'll open up the lines again tomorrow. It'll be probably tomorrow afternoon sometime. All right, I'm gonna get into solo here really quick, but I think we've addressed most of the pain points of this record here so far. But what I do want to say, Whiskey Jenkins, is that you are a good artist. I don't want the limitations of the producer or the mix on this to discourage you in any way. You're a good writer. You have a great voice, and so much potential as an artist. So much. Your sound, your energy, the way that you build your song structure is fantastic. So I know we're like, we're really nailing down all of these things that are issues in the mix that need to be corrected. We need to find another studio. We need to do all these other things. Like, I know that can be frustrating sometimes, but you are really, really good at what you do. You're really, really good at what you do. I'm going to find someone to be 100%. And it's a lot of trial and error. A lot of look up reviews, make sure they have see if they have a reference page or something like that. So on and so on. To just see like, hey, here's a song. Here's a song that we've done or whatever it may be. You need to get a small Canada flag to wave every once in a while. Every time I get the Canada people come in, be like, hey, let's go. Just wave a flag in the background. All right, let me get into the solo really quick and then we'll get out of here.
Devil's car, riding sick.
Like this guitar needs to be like 3 dB forward. You know what I mean? Like as soon as that vocal ends, that guitar needs to shoot forward in the mix. They need to ride the fader and push it forward. Like it needs a lot more life. Because again, great musician, poor expression in the mix. Like it needs to be represented well. What's up, James? Welcome in. Yeah, 100%. Y'all, please show some love. to the family, Whiskey Jenkins. The song is called The Sixth String. If you like what you hear, and you should, go stream it, go like it, go add it to your playlist, so on and so on. And make sure that you follow Whiskey right here in the chat as well. Genuinely love what you do, man. You're talented, very, very talented. And I'm very excited for it because I've been on the other side of the conversation where people have gone to a lot of other people and then finally settle on me as a producer or a session musician or whatever it ends up being. So I know how challenging being on both sides of hiring session musicians and being them, being a producer or hiring producers for a record that I'm overseeing. Like, it is such an interesting dynamic finding those people and having to spend money and then it not be what you want it to be, and then having to try to get files back, but then there's ego involved and they feel weird about it. It's a weird thing, right? So I think if you find a studio that you get really confident in and you feel really supported by, you're going to be in a great spot. I'm not worried about it at all, man. You definitely have the skills to do it. Y'all show some love one more time to Whiskey. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling, keep it rolling. Nova's in the building. Nova, I see you over in the chat, so let's keep it rolling. Just a short remix of the latest track from dubstep EDM producer Zomboy, one of my new faves from him, and wanted to recreate this one with guitars and other metal instruments. Okay, this is your recreation. Let's get it, Nova. Let's get it. I said I was gonna move faster and I spent like 45 minutes. I'm not, my brain's on fire today. ADHD is strong. Let's see. I didn't take some of the stuff that helps. All right, let's get it. Yeah, absolutely any style, James. Any style, any level of quality. We're closed up for today, but we're going to be live again tomorrow. Ooh. It's like an anime intro. It is. It's a Neumann M147. M147 II. I have a 102. I have a 102 as well. Not my favorite mic, but it does the job for when I need it. Let's go, Nova. Let's go. Let's go, Nova. Nova's on YouTube, by the way, for those of y'all who don't know. We're on 3 different platforms right now. No, they're not. I've heard a lot of their stuff. Just half the song. Might do the full version soon. Nice. Let's go, Nova. Yo. Slim. It's truck month. It's not quite there. Let's go. Hold on. Let's get into it. Y'all show some love. Yeah, trust me. I hear a lot of AI music. I can tell. You can tell. Even like better quality ones. It's pretty hard to get unless it's just like someone only used it for a flute or something like that. Submissions are closed for today. It's only half of it, Tep. It's only half of it. They're going to do the full version soon. Yeah, submissions are closed, but just make sure that you're following either on TikTok, Twitch, or YouTube, which we're live on right now. And then we'll open up the line again tomorrow. Get a fresh batch of music, and you're probably some of y'all that I need to save today. We'll open up those again tomorrow as well. But this is Zomboy, Bromance is Dead, the Nova remix. This is a short one. There's going to be a long one soon. Let's dive into it. We got Nova in the building. They're over on YouTube right now. Show them some love and support. Let's run it from the top. Let's get it. And then Kingston, let me know if you're in the chat. I currently have you up next. It might change a little bit. Perfect. The line's close, so you might not be able to see it. So there is we haven't gotten to any of them today just because the line's been stacked, but there is a free line with up to 2-minute listen and then a quick note at the end. What we're doing right now is the consultation side. So on the consultation side, it's a 20 to 30 minute breakdown. We listen to the song 2 or 3 different times, dive into the mix, production, sound design, lyric and song formatting, stuff like that. It's a long form, like I said, 20 to 30 minutes, long form, deep diving into music. Those start at 10 on the paid side. Those start at 10, and then people spend more if they want to go faster or if they want to, skip the line a little bit quicker and stuff like that. So that's what the tiers are. If you get to that point, you can always send more if you want to go a little bit quicker or whatever may make sense for you. But yeah, that's the consultation side where we go super in depth. Those are starting at 10. All right, let's back this up here a little bit here. I want to listen to a couple of these different, some of these little elements here at the top too. Torvik, you legend, just popping in, showing you some love. Hey, welcome in. It's so good to see you. I appreciate you tapping in. Thank you so much for joining. Europad, we are closed for today, but we'll be live again tomorrow. So anybody that wants to submit, just make sure that you're following, and then we'll open up the lines again tomorrow afternoon. Okay, so here's what I hear throughout actually most of the structure of the song. It's actually, Nova, one of the few things that you need to rebalance. There's a pretty strong bias towards your lead elements. Now, they do sound really transparent, really clean, and really clear, and I love that. I think that's fantastic. But they do kind of cut through in a way that really distinguishes them from the rest of the mix a lot. I would love to build up a little bit more energy behind your percussion and your double tracked guitars, like the wall of sound that you have with your guitars, which are beautiful, by the way. The tone is awesome. I would love a bit more energy behind those so that the piano and your lead synths don't feel too distinct. I want them there. I want to distinguish them. I want to be able to hear them in the mix, obviously. But I don't want them to feel like too pointed and like too far out of the mix where this wall of sound, or what should be a wall of sound of guitar, these snappy metal drums, feel quiet in comparison to like lead mono synths and stuff like that. I want a bit more energy out of some of those other production parts just to make sure that the mix itself feels as balanced as possible. Like even here, like kick and bass and like rhythm structure underneath this, to me, I would have forward by a couple dB or depending on how you're building out your mix, bring these bring those down just a little bit so that when you start to build in these other elements, they're not too prominent. There's definitely room for these drums. There's definitely space for them to come up a bit though. Let me see. I'm gonna bring this up a little bit here. Do it. So like even here, you can hear how soft the snare sounds. Some of it also, I think, might have to do with actually your velocity range on the snare, because there's other snare hits that are stronger. If I back it up here, that's when everything kind of backs off. That's why I'm saying like that percussion needs to feel like it has more energy behind it. It needs more prominence. It needs higher velocity ranges, whatever. And then rebalance the synths over the top of it so the guitar and the drums and the bass feel really, really solid as your non-negotiables of this mix. But even right there, I think there are some stronger velocity, notes right there that are maybe have a little bit more attack, have a little bit more transience to them. Especially when you're doing the breakdown in here in the middle where there's not as much happening. I would definitely want more energy out of that snap. I would want a little bit more snap out of the snare to give it a bit more of an edge right there. What's up, Retrack Beats? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing amazing. Thank you for the heart, me man. Yeah, drums feel pretty soft right here. So you can definitely do some work to liven up those drums, give them a little bit more snap, double check velocity ranges, and maybe even just push them forward by a couple dB as well. Guitars are supported well there, but you definitely have some room to push those drums forward.
Drop it.
Nasty here. See, in here, this sounds nasty. This sounds so good. This sounds so good right here because we have all this energy behind the guitars. The drums, I'm pretty sure you layer another snare under the snare. So now the drums feel weighty, they feel powerful, they're punchy. This little pocket right here is the best sounding pocket of the song, without a doubt, because we have more support for the guitars, the drums are louder, they have more layers to them, they have a lot of support right there. And your synths, you have a beautiful little arpeggiator on the left side there. Your synths take a little bit more of a backseat where they're supporting the song and giving it more life. But it's not necessarily like super, super, super disconnected from the mix. This little pocket right here, beautiful. Charge RP sassy. Thanks. Justin, they're over on YouTube. They're over, it's the real Nova. Nova, if you want to, hop over to TikTok for a second, because people are asking about you, just so we can like pin you, or you can hop in the chat for a second, and people can see who you are, because I know people are wanted to follow along. Nasty. Great build out here. Same thing here, where some of the some of those more like piercing transient elements that come in, that you start to jump really far out of the mix, making other things feel suppressed. So a small rebalancing of your mix, small rebalancing between just like percussion, layers of synthesis, and your lead elements transforms the way that this feels, man. It's already an absolute monster production, absolute crazy production. So good, man. So good. Gross. Yeah, get that on like an anime edit immediately. Show some love, man. Show some love. Show some love. That is the real Nova. The real Nova in the building. Is it Banksy? Thanks for tapping in. Asset, thank you so much for tapping in as well. I appreciate you hopping into the stream today. We are closed for today, but we're going to be live again tomorrow afternoon. So just make sure that you're following here on TikTok. Turn on notifications. We'll open up the line again tomorrow and get into some deep dives into your music. We'll dive into the nuances of what y'all are working on, and spend about 20 to 30 minutes breaking down your song. These are long, they're detailed. But y'all, please show some love to the family. That is the Real Nova official. They were over on YouTube. Asset, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah, Transformers or anime. Speaking of Kingston, right here in the chat, we got your track up next. Let's dive in. Keep in mind, the line is currently closed. So if you would like, if you want to submit, you'll have to submit tomorrow. And or if you are in the line, you can still move though. So if you are in the consultation line, if you're in that line, you can still push yourself forward. You can still move around the line if you would like to go faster, because it's still a fairly deep line. That's available to you. We just won't take new submissions to the line. So with drums and stuff, I made them a little softer to almost give off more power later on. Yeah, you just be really strategic with it, mainly when there's breakdowns, like especially when like a lot of the elements leave the mix. Just make sure there's enough there so you don't lose steam. You can have it softer, but make sure you don't lose steam. That's the thing I would say. You just got to be careful of that, because it can feel soft. And feel like you're not really getting the energy out of the first half of the song that you want to, and that it was a velocity thing. Honestly, it does need more. Yeah, a little bit of tasteful changes to the velocity. It also might be like the reason why I bring that up too is because I want people to stay for when it does get crazy and when it does feel powerful. If you are excuse me, if you're relying on, you're like, I'm going to have it like softer and lighter and a little bit easier on this first half to hopefully get this crazy pop later. That can work. I'm not saying it doesn't work and can't work. That can work. You just got to be really strategic, because what you don't want to happen is people like hear the first part of the mix and be like, this really doesn't have the power that I want it to have, and they move on or they just skip or whatever. You want them to stay there. You know what I mean? Like you want them to actually hang on for that ride and get to the powerful part too. So make sure there's enough information there to give it the punch that you want, while also still having the restraint that I know you want to have in the early mix as well. Y'all show some love, man. Show some love. We got Kingston in the building. Of course, man. Anytime. Started this ballad banger on my couch when we lived in Tennessee with a ukulele. Troy thought the main line needed to be recorded. I'm not fine, but I'm finding my way. I agreed, so he and I went to town on it as a softer acoustic ballad, but took it to Silverchair, Coldplay Town. Really natural, organic, and non-GMO, baby. Let's get into it. This is Kingston. Kingston, I've heard your music before, right? I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. But maybe my brain is waking that up, but I'm pretty positive. Yeah. I was like a couple days ago, right? Or like a week ago or something like that. Wrote with Troy Wellstead. Okay, let's get into it. This is Finding My Way by Kingston. Let's dive in. I was like, that's very familiar. Yeah. Oh yeah. Come on. All right, let's get it.
I'm not fine, but I'm finding my way. I'm on time. I'm not fine, but I'm finding my way.
Great vocal mix.
I'm on time.
Nice. Spacey.
I'm tired of waiting. I got a gift, still fading. On the wall, I'm looking in. I got a light, it's too dim. I'm getting stronger. I gotta wait for it a little longer. I gotta pay for it. I'm so tired
Built it out.
of looking in.
Let's go.
This life I'm being given. I'm not fine, but I'm finding my way. I'm on time. I'm not fine, but I'm finding my way.
Beautiful.
I'm
Beautiful.
on time. I'm not fine, but I'm finding my way.
It's probably just TikTok. It's just TikTok. It'll like delay it and then speed it up again. Yeah, it's just TikTok.
I'm not fine, but I'm finding my way.
Yeah, it happens. Come on, Vogue. Come on. Come on. So good. Amazing. Y'all show some love. That is Kingston right here in the chat. I need everybody to go follow, go show some love, go boost the algorithm, go like the track, go add it to your playlist, so on and so on. This is what blows my mind. These were Troy's drums. I'd love the drums on these. That build up right there. That little movement right there at the end right there with that vocal layer what a climactic moment in the song. Like, what an energy boost. Like, that is such a full wall of sound right there. There's so much energy in the mix. There's so much flowing through it there. Just a beautiful, beautiful moment of the song. It is so well done. It is so well done. It really, really opens up in a gorgeous way. Okay, really quick, just for those of y'all who are still in here, I maybe have time for 2 more songs. I think maybe 2 more songs. I have to get out of here. That'll be coming up in like 4 to 4.5 hours of streaming. So I probably will have to save a couple today. I think I have time for the top 2, whoever that ends up being. I have time for those top 2. The rest will be saved. And then again, just a quick reminder, if you, whenever you come back in, just let me know that we saved your song. And then I'll pull up I'll have you submit for free, and then I'll add a boost to yours as well. So that you don't have to, obviously you don't have to pay again. I'll actually give you some extra to get you a little bit farther in the line. Like we did with Timmy earlier. Just because I think I have 5 more in line, and I can maybe do 2 more. I have to really be careful. It's the same way that I mix. I got to be careful because I'm listening to a lot of music, loud over a long period of time, and then also talking a lot. And so I gotta protect the ears as well. So I try not to go much longer than about 3.5, 4 hours, just so I'm not hurting myself. So I can keep working the next day. But so I'll probably save a couple songs today. But just again, if you're one of the ones that are saved, if you're lower on the list or whatever it may be, then just let me know that yours was saved. The next time that you come in, I'll be live again tomorrow afternoon. Let me know the next time that you come in, and I'll just boost you right away. Okay. Not ready yet. Sounds good. Maddie Mac Fashions, of course. I'm excited. I love getting a chance to hear your demos and stuff too. All right, Kingston, Find My Way. The 20 monthly listeners is blowing my mind, man. You're so good. Let's run it from the top. Let's talk through some details too. But this is a great record. There is something I'm hearing on the vocal early on. I don't know if it's a gate. Being triggered, or the threshold is too loud. I'm gonna listen for it here for a second. I think it happens every once in a while. I'm gonna listen for it. But man, beautiful song. It's structured so well. The dynamics are absolutely amazing. So let's dive in. I don't prefer it. I'm not mad at it, but I don't prefer it. Yeah, 100%. I'm doing TikTok lives, and that's helping regarding vocals. Oh, you're going live yourself, Kingston? Like performing your songs? Is that what you're saying? If that's what you're saying, that's amazing. Carl's in the building. What's up, Carl? CB's in the building. What's up, CB? Boom, boom, boom. Awesome. Yeah, that's cool. TLP, welcome in. I love it. Okay, let me get into this here. Also love the ukulele.
I'm not fine, but I'm finding my way. I'm on time.
You hear it a little bit right there. Da, da. You hear that? And it's not just breath. There's a little glitch right there. Releasing good songs, literally finding my way 100%.
I'm not fine, but I'm finding my way. I'm on time.
Let's go. That's amazing.
I'm tired of waiting. I got a gift, still fading.
There's a little stutter in there too. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Y'all, we're closer today. I got like 2 songs after this, hopefully. If I have the capacity to, I'll try to do another 1 or 2 songs after this one. But we're closed for today. We'll be live again tomorrow afternoon though. So if you do want to submit your music, if you do want a deep dive on the consultation side here, we'll open up the lines again for that tomorrow as well. Chief, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. That's wild. That's wild work. Never seen it. Don't plan on it.
On the wall, I'm looking in. I got a light, it's too dim. Getting stronger. I
Little bit in there.
wait for it a little longer. I gotta pay for it. I'm so tired of looking in this life I'm being given. I'm not fine.
Yeah, Okay, it's are we talking subtle? We're talking so incredible. Welcome in. I'm glad you're here. I love music talk too. We're talking so incredibly subtle. There's just a couple little times where you're getting the gate closing or something like that, and it's causing these little stutters in the vocal when you're in your lower register and when you're going into like the falsetto edge of your voice at the end of a line. Every once in a while, you get these little stutters. It's so subtle. I don't even know necessarily why I'm bringing it up. It's very, very, very subtle. But I would just maybe loosen your loosen up your threshold here just a little bit so that your gate is not catching too tight. Or if you're running into some noise issues where like your noise floor is too high, maybe use like NS1 or something like that first to reduce the level of the noise tastefully without degrading the vocal too much, and then gate, but you don't have to gate nearly as much. That's typically what I'll do. I'll use NS1 to just like suppress the noise, and then the gating can be a lot more subtle and the threshold doesn't have to be nearly as low. That can help make it feel a lot more natural without it feeling like and starting and stopping or stuttering on those low vocals right there. Because you do have a great low register and a really, really great texture to your lower kind of vocal fry, so on and so on. Nero's the gate. I will feedback my radio. Yeah, 100%. Sounds good. I'm on IG, but letting it go for now as TikTok is showing up better, approaching sync opportunities, but also. Yeah, 100%. Like there's the gate. I've found the same thing. Like in going live and posting, I don't really post that consistently as much as I would like to, and I would love to do more, but I don't really want to post that much right now unless I can do higher quality content. And most of my content has been very lazy lately. Just like me, like turning on a synth and playing it, which is cool and that's fine. But I have not found a lot of time for me to like get creative with my content lately. So I'm not posting as often as I used to. But the way that I've gotten what's now almost 12,000 followers, which is not a lot of followers, but for me, that's a lot. For me, that feels crazy. But how I've gotten that is just being very, very consistent on this platform. I do post everything everywhere, but same thing. I don't really get the same traction on other platforms. YouTube has done decently well. I can get some decent views over there sometimes. Instagram, you never know. Like I've had a couple videos go viral on Instagram, but it didn't really translate. I had one video get 600,000, one get 400,000, one get 280,000 or something like that. Like I've had some videos do well, but they, it just really hasn't translated into like 8,000 followers from it or something like that. Like Instagram's a weird world. I kind of hate Instagram. It just I don't love the interface a lot of times sometimes. So I would lean in. I think there is a benefit to either if you're going to post on multiple platforms. If you're going to post on multiple platforms, I think it's really beneficial to play to the platform. Virginia, thank you so much for the heart meme. To play to the platform. And each platform requires something a little bit different of you, and that's different per person and per algorithm. But you might find that certain things do amazing on YouTube Shorts. You might find that some things do really, really well on Facebook randomly, TikTok, Instagram Reels, so on and so on. I'm stuck in 300 view jail on TikTok. When it comes to taking off shirt while singing, we got options, Kingston. You gotta see. This is so funny, but what is hilarious is it'll probably work if you made it kind of funny and goofy, without it being just too cringe. It'd probably be work. If you just literally had like a POV, you'll try literally anything to get views on your music or something like that, and it's you just like it's you doing that. It'd probably be funny enough. If it was a little tongue in cheek, it'd probably be funny enough that you would unironically get a lot more views on your music. That's the thing. You gotta find what works for you. All right, let's get a little deeper into this. It's a minute and a half song. Okay. You have to leave in 10 minutes. Let me know, Justin, let me know if you'll have more time tomorrow as well, because I'll boost you tomorrow. So if you have to go that fast, because I'm still in the middle of this one, if you have to go that fast, I can save it for tomorrow's live or whenever you're able to come in next, and I'll add 5 to your submission as well, if that'd be helpful as well. But just because I want to make sure I get into the last pockets of the song really briefly.
But I'm fine.
Or if you're okay with your breakdown just being really fast, that's up to you, obviously. I'll be on probably around 2 p.m. Central-ish. And hopefully another longer live. All right, let's get into this build-up. The mix overall on this is beautiful, man. Sounds good. Yeah, just literally all you got to do is let me know that you're back, and then I'll have you resubmit your song in the free line. So I'll keep the free line open. I'll have you resubmit your song in the free line, and then I'll add 15. And I'll boost it myself to put you in the right spot. It's what we did with Timmy earlier, so on and so on, and he boosted up a lot faster. Where he would have been a lot lower, he got heard as like our 3rd song today. So yeah, just let me know when you're here, and I'll give you the boost tomorrow.
I'm not
buildup is great. Yeah, overall balance is so beautiful, man.
I'm on
Beautiful, beautiful. So good. I gotta pause it. And here's what I love about this. It's just a wall of sound, right? There's so much energy here. It is so vibrant. It is so energetic. There's so much energy, but I can still distinguish your vocal. I can still hear what you're saying. I can still hear these different elements. I can hear the guitar line. I can hear the melodic elements, the punch of the drums. I still get all of that information. I'm still getting all of that vibrancy. I'm going to back it up to the start of this and I'll just let it play to the end here really quick. It's such a good breakdown at the end of the song. Beautifully mixed. So I love everything about it. I love everything about it. And also just really quick, y'all, I can tell my ears are starting to get fatigued. I got time for one more. I'll do one more song at the end here. I'll have to save everyone else for tomorrow. And again, like I said, anytime I save you, I'll give you a boost. I'll make sure I give you at least an extra 5 on the board so you can go a little faster tomorrow as well, hopefully. But my ears are starting to get pretty, I've been working on music all day and then been live for 4 hours. So I gotta rest my ears. They're starting to ring a little bit and these are the money makers. So I gotta take care of them. So, I'll do one more song after this if they're still here. Otherwise I'll save them for tomorrow. Fabulous. Y'all, please show some love. Show some love. The family right here in the chat, Kingston, thank you so much for sending that in, man. Wildly talented. You know you're good. You know you're doing some things right where like the biggest like pain point that we're talking about is like, I think at the end of like 0.6 seconds of the song, the gates triggering a little early, maybe raise your threshold. Like, you're doing something right and you're working with the right people when those are the most nuanced that we're talking about are these like tiny little, like largely insignificant elements within your mix. Y'all are so awesome, man. Very, very talented. Y'all show some love. Okay, I got one more. I'm gonna try to do one more here really quick. Justin, I'll get you saved for tomorrow. Last playground. Let me know if you're in here. Let me know. And this will be our final the final one for the day. Last play. Okay, perfect. Let me refresh because I need to make sure this is the right order. Yeah, it is. Okay, so last playground, y'all are going to close this up, and it looks like the Harlow Pennies and Chris and let me see. Wait, did another one? Oh, did someone just? I wonder if someone just bumped up. I was like, wait, hold on one second. I think someone bumped up from the free line. I was like, wait, I just had 4 and then it bumped up again. Yeah, so the rest of these, so TLP, we're going to close up with yours. And then the rest of y'all's will be saved for the next stream, which will be tomorrow. And I'll give all of y'all a boost as well. So anybody that comes from today's stream or yesterday's stream, I'll give you a boost tomorrow as well. So if you sent in 10 today, you'll have 15 tomorrow. I do that just hopefully you get a little bit of a push tomorrow as well. Hopefully you can get heard a little bit sooner, just since y'all had to hold for a little bit. This is Transmission by The Last Playground. We normally don't do covers. This is our reimagining of Joy Division's Transmission. This is final mix ready for master. Let's get into it. Yeah, let me know the role, the role that you play in your music and kind of the way that this is formatted and stuff. I would love some info on what you're doing. But this is the last playground. It's transmission. Such an 80s feel.
Listen to the silence, let it ring on. I stop wailing, frightened of the sun. We could have a fine time living in the night. Set for prime destruction, waiting for our sight. We could go on as though nothing was wrong. Hide from the days to remain all alone. And stay in the same place, stay out of time. Touching from a distance, put her all the time.
We're closed for today, but we're going to be live again tomorrow. So just make sure that you're following and join the live tomorrow. Let's go. I love the 80s feel. I love the 80s. Automation on the mix for like your ambiance is fantastic. Between stereo delays and ping pongs. System 5 Radio, welcome in. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. I'm closed for today, but I'm going to be live again tomorrow afternoon, probably around 2 p.m. Central. But it's for you on the Purple app, it's ! submit in the chat. You have that like classic like Roland D50 Fantasia, shimmer at the top right there as well. Y'all show some love, man. Show some love. That is, excuse me, that is the last playground, the cover transmission. Let's dive in. Let's run it from the top. But honestly, man, especially within this genre, within this era, this is a really, really nice mix. There's great automation. I love like the automation on your stereo delays versus your ping pongs, playing between those two different delays in there. All of that automation is very intuitive and it's done very intentionally. That's one of my favorite parts about listening to this is everything feels very intentional, very on purpose. It's set in its space. I think y'all did a fantastic job with that. We'll talk through a couple things, but man, really, really well done. Let's run it from the top. We'll move pretty quick. That is the last playground. transmission. I can't wait to hear more from y'all too, and I'm excited too also to hear more original stuff from y'all as well, and like what y'all do stylistically. I'm obsessed with the 80s. The 80s it's half my synths in here are from the 80s, or emulating synths that are from the 80s. I love that era of music. The 70s and 80s to me are my favorite era of music. I love Depeche Mode, Tears for Fears, Aha, so on and so on. Like, I love a lot of that aesthetic. So you're kind of speaking my language here as far as what y'all are doing stylistically. I think y'all are doing a fantastic job. Fantastic job. Quick reminder, y'all, we're closed for today. This is our last song. We will be live again tomorrow. So tomorrow afternoon, probably between 1 or 2 p.m. Central, we will be live again. We'll open up the line again. We'll put some of the saved people from today over there as well as take on a huge new chunk of music. So definitely tap in then. But I love all of these arpeggios in the background. I love it. That's one of my favorite songs. I love it. I love it. I love it. Definitely need to post that, Chris. Definitely. It's a nice mix, one, also because there's a lot of movement left and right. Like, so obviously there's a lot of sequences in here. There's a lot of arpeggiators and stuff that are keeping, the energy and a lot of the synthesis and the formatting that you have here. But then you also have movement left and right. So it's not that there's a bunch of fast moving synth arpeggios. You also have a lot of great movement left and right. Like this auto pan sequence that you have from the right to the left and moving back. All of those little nuances make the mix feel really alive. It makes it feel like there's a lot of energy moving around, it makes it really interesting for the listener. You never really like soften your attention at all.
Radio, live transmission. Radio, live transmission.
Nice. There's a part of me, and again, this is a little bit of an engineering taste thing. Everyone has a different perspective on it. In between top line here, like where your vocal is in versus when it's out, I wouldn't mind if the lead elements that took its place were a little bit more forward in the mix. Because like right now we have a strong mid-forward lead vocal. It's right at the front of the mix. You do a beautiful job of expressing that. Awesome. And then in the background, you have the you have the background guitars that come in as well. They stay kind of in their spot back here. In my brain, I would love to like ride that fader a little bit, maybe automate those forward to where when that lead vocal leaves the mix, we give way to those guitars to kind of push forward a little bit. And then if they fall back underneath the vocal when the vocal comes back in, perfect. But automating those kind of in and out of the mix a little bit to feel like that top line is a little bit more full at the front of the mix, as opposed to the vocal leaves, but then the whole mix feels a little bit softer because nothing really replaces the energy at the front of the mix there. What's up, A10? Welcome in, man. But I mean, I love the tone. I love all the textures in here. It's great. It's really nice. I'm a fan.
Listen to the silence, let it ring on. I stop wailing, frightened of the sun. We could have a fine time living in the night.
It could also be beneficial. Just notes. Feel free to ignore half of this too. Just taste things. It could be nice as well to maybe very, very lightly duck that vocal, sidechain that vocal to the delay right there, just so that when the vocal is singing, we're not getting so many ping pongs back and forth, but it suppresses it a little bit. When the vocal releases, that ping pong, dives forward a little bit more, gets a bit more, bit more amplitude behind it. Right now, I can just feel my brain kind of jumping around a little bit, hearing all those echoes and kind of trying to distinguish things in the mix. And I think a little bit better clarity for when those echoes hit and where they hit would be nice. And because I love what they're doing. I love how they fill out the stereo in the mix. But while the lead vocal's going and you get these pretty prominent ping pongs right there, it can be a little bit distracting. It can be, it can encroach on that vocal a little bit more. But if that vocal was chained to those delays, and when that vocal came in, it just ducked it by literally even just like 2 or 3 dB, not like cutting it out at all, but just suppressed with compression about 2 or 3 dB out of those delays, and then allowed it to bloom after that. It could be a nice, really simple way of regaining some clarity in those moments.
Set for blind destruction, waiting for our sight.
Cool voice too. I like it. right, let's get to the build up here. What's up, Jenna? Feels very authentic to that era. It really does. That's nice. Good vocal range too. Again, good automation there. And again, great transition and automation there from the filter to open. Like, there's a lot of great, like, really intentional things that are happening here. Really, really well done. Open it up. Beautiful. That's nice. Nice build up. I love, hopefully very, very soon I'll be getting a D50. And that texture over the top, I love. The high dun, 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 the little high buildup that you have right there. What it reminds me of, might not necessarily be, but what it reminds me of is the Fantasia preset on those 80s D50s. It's such a great texture. It's shimmery. It's like a string undertone, but it's chimey and shimmery at the top right there. It's a really, really nice lead line.
You can dance if you want it. You can leave your friends behind. 'Cause your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, so no friends of mine. But we can dance to the radio.
Awesome.
Dance to the radio.
That's nice. I like this a lot, man. Show some love to TLP. What a vibrant mix. What a great vibrant mix. Super energetic. Man, y'all please show some love to Transmission, covered by The Last Playground. Y'all are awesome. Great musicians. Great cohesion. It's a really, really nice mix. Everything's very intentional. It's very pointed. Everything is in its space. It's easy to distinguish. There's great clarity and separation. I like this a lot. It's a really, really nice balance. Y'all should be very proud of the work that y'all are doing. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Show some love. That is Transmission by The Last Playground. That's going to close us up for today, y'all. I got to get out of here, but I love and appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all for tapping in again. A quick reminder that we will be live again tomorrow on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok, so make sure that you're following and subscribed where it makes sense. We'll be live again tomorrow afternoon. I would absolutely love to hear what y'all are working on. So get your revisions, get your music ready, and hopefully we'll see y'all very, very, very soon.